Hi everyone, welcome to another stream. Yes, we're doing it a little early today, so I hope you're all having a good one, and I'm glad you can make it even though this isn't the time I normally stream. We are on a hype train, 49% to level 2. It'd be awesome if we could get to level 5 for the last day of the month. Nick with 45-bit says, wait, Hannah stream already? I know. D. Richard Bailey with 2 months says, 2 months? Ice Queen 142 with 13 months says, woot, 13 months. Can't stay super long, just wanted to pop in and say hello. Update on something I mentioned a while back. Unless Peter lives in one of a couple places with the final districts, he's not my boss's Senate district. Oh, okay, that's good. Wag Roads with 100 bits. Bumble Homestead with 100 bits. Artemis 8192 with 45 bits says, I'd love to stay and watch, but it's 8:30 a.m. here and I haven't slept yet. Take the last of my bits and I'll watch the VOD later. Well, I hope it's good. Guyish with 100 bits. Marusama with 45 says, thank you for streaming earlier, Hannah. I've missed this. Wagroads, thanks for gifting 2 tier 1 subs. Bittergrin, thanks for 1,000 bits, says, woohoo, finally here for the start of a stream again. Meek says, glad you're here. Destiny is streaming with Lauren, person in person. And it's frankly one of the most disgusting things he's ever done. Southern. That makes more sense. Lauren Southern. That sucks. That's the reason I don't watch Destiny. Well, that's one of the reasons, I guess. Gearthin with 1,000 bits says, have some biddies for the day of my birth. Hey, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. But you gave me a gift. Very interesting. I got Bittergrins, right? Bittergrin said, woohoo, finally here for the start of the stream again with 1,000 bits. 1% to level 4. I'm glad, I'm surprised we have people here. I'm glad. Normally I start much later, or I have been. When I first started the streaming, I'd stream at like 3 p.m. and go to like 7 or 8 or whatever. And now I start at like 6. I don't know. Maybe I need to vary it up more so I get different audiences, different people with different schedules who are able to watch. I don't know. MW1642 with 100 bits. Oh, my back hurts for some reason. Ah. Ouch. 5% to level 4. So today we're doing Chud Watch. We, oh boy, we have a whole bunch of stuff to take a look at today. It's gonna be an interesting one. You saw nothing, Keirthin. Bardlock Moses, thanks for gifting a sub. Any Ukraine stuff? Probably in the right-wing watch stuff. It's mostly not, though. Other than the right-wing watch, not really. I haven't been wanting to cover Ukraine stuff just because it pisses me off. Especially, like, domestic right-wingers supporting Russia. Just makes me mad. And as I've said before, I don't know as much about international affairs as I do domestic, so I don't want to be a person who comes out and says stuff without, you know. I don't want to come out with uninformed takes and sound like an idiot and give people bad information. So. My back probably hurts because you've been sitting like a bisexual again. That's why mine's been hurting so much. Could be. Could be. 27% to level 4 with 2.5 minutes left. Hawthorne says, just finished a 3 long days at work, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Looking forward to a day in tomorrow. I work in home care part-time. Well, I'm glad you're going to get a day off. That's nice. Vork Void, thanks for 21 months, 53% to level 4. Can we all marvel at how the Russian ruble is now worth less than a single sheet of TP and worth less than Robux? Bittergrin, thanks for gifting 10 tier 1 subs to the community. As always, very, very generous. Thank you. It's an awesome amount of gift subs. We almost got to the goal this month. Not bad. We did it! Level 5. There's still a minute and a half left, and after that we will go ahead and get into the Chud stuff for realsies. Pardlock Moses with 100 bits becomes the stream boss. Today's gonna be a shit show, of course, as is tradition. God, like, I'm having, like, heartburn or something, too. I haven't eaten in hours. The last thing I ate was, like, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, like, 2 hours ago, if not more. Alright, we did it, everyone. Level 5, successful. Thank you all very much for giving us such an awesome hype train. Appreciate it. I guess let's get right into things, shall we? I'm just gonna get this out of the way. Because, why not? So, Danzi came out with a new song. And, okay, so this is kind of about a serious-ish topic, which isn't funny, but what's funny is she decided to make a song about it. Apparently... Oh no, vegan teacher is belittling Ukraine. Wait, where's the link? Can I get a link to that? Oh, there it is. Okay. We'll check that out in a minute. So apparently in China or something, there was an image that got leaked or something of a woman who was chained up, presumably for some sort of trafficking, which is horrible and horrifying and sad and something that should be, you know, investigated and taken care of, like all trafficking concerns. What shouldn't be done is making a Weird Al style parody song based on that real life event. Danzi did not get that memo. So let's watch the new Danzi video and then we'll all feel dirty.
She's a poor woman and she's locked under chain. More miserable than a dog, lonely like a hellway. She's locked up in a shed for more than 24 years. Builder's catastrophe, but she knows she can fly away. Whoa, she got her neck locked on the chain, and she cannot get away. She was forced to give birth to children, and she cannot move freely. This woman's locked on the chain.
Hall of Shame. This goes in the Hall of Shame, right? We haven't had an inductee in a while, and frankly, I never thought Danzi would wind up in the Hall of Shame, but I think this deserves Hall of Shame, right? Lily Love Stuff with 45 bits says it was the lady whose husband said she was chained up because she was mentally ill, like that made it better. I honestly don't know the whole story. Nick says, calling it now, the whole stream is going into the Hall of Shame. Brokagam says, alright, I'm one of Danzi's biggest stans, and even I have to question this choice. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna put this in the Hall of Shame. Danzi. Why have you done this? I can't believe you've done this. Screenshotting. I don't think we've even looked at the Hall of Shame for a while. Where is it? Lily Love Stuff says 8 children. It's definitely the woman I thought it was. Yikes. let's see. So far in the Hall of Shame, we has Baz FCZ defending a murderer, the racist episode of Snortling's Hollow, the furry foot fetish Nazi, and Undead Chronic's whole channel. Let's add Danzi. God damn it. I just need to add a image, add source, new image, browse. Why is it going to the bottom of my downloads page? That's weird. What's the button to crop this? There we go. It's that one. I probably need to make foot fetish guy a little smaller. Has Mimsy been away? Yeah, she hasn't posted in like 8 months. Overthought, thanks for 12 months. Happy anniversary! Now I just need to add text, and we're good. I know this is thrilling, but it's very important, okay? The Hall of Shame must be preserved. Danzi's Ballad of... I don't even know what to call this. Danzi's Ballad of... Human trafficking. And then, what is the font? Kremlin. Done. That's the wrong one. There we go. Danzi's Ballad of Human Trafficking. This is the Hall of Shame, everyone. We did it. Logarth says Danzi off the chain. Oof. Alright, let's finish this song so we can do things that don't make my brain hurt so much.
This woman's locked on duct chain. She's locked up with duct chain. This woman's locked on duct chain. Looks like a woman, but she's a sex slave.
Shit, Danzi.
So unbelievable she can burn your eyes. She's actually a traffic bride. You can try, but you never forget her chain. She's on bottom of the world, poorest of the poorest woman. Say, oh, she's locked and chained in a shed, and people are not allowed to save her. Oh.
Brokagam says, alright, we have to wonder if 1 million points is really worth it. Yo180 says, I know the thing she's singing about, that was wild.
Oh, the radio sparked fuel on Chinese people, and things are still hitting up. This woman's locked on duct chain. This woman's locked on duct chain.
Ice Queen, what do you want me to put on for hats off?
She's locked up with duct chain. This woman's locked on duct chain. Everybody's undressed. The video goes viral because they can see the flame that's in her eyes. Watch her as she's shaking up internet. Everybody knew that she's a victim kidnapping, and it's an evil world, but we won't let it go. Baby, go, baby. This woman's locked up duct chain. This woman's locked up a duct chain. She's locked up on duct chain. Thank you, to your next song.
Well, that's the worst thing Danzi's ever put out. Yo180 says, "My ears are in pain." Blackwing Hecate says, "Speaking of the vegan teacher, I need to eat lunch." Okay, this is a video about the vegan teacher, I guess. We can watch this real quick, and then we can jump over to one of vegan teacher's newer videos, which I already had prepped anyway.
Hello, my lovelies. I'm not even gonna roll the intro. I am that pissed. I'm sorry if this turns into a rant, but I'm going to be talking about the vegan teacher mocking the events in Ukraine right now. This is not even funny.
It's not. It doesn't surprise me, though, considering vegan teacher also basically said she's fine of all the people that died in 9/11 because they weren't vegan. She's a fundamentally unempathetic person towards human beings. Meek says, "I stole this from a Reddit post and I thought it was funny. All people who identify as helicopters should go fight in Ukraine since they'll be able to live out their gender identity." Dr. Gamble says, "It was like a train wreck. I can't look away even though I should." Blackwing Hecate says, "Also as a furry, with a restraint fetish, my culture is being appropriated." And Logarth says, "I'm not actually convinced at this point that Danzi isn't actually one of those humanistic robots that they just put on a newsfeed through AI into a parody of that On Fire song."
This is so fucked up. When you think this woman can't get any more fucked, there she goes. This is so motherfucking tone deaf. I cannot even contain this. Now, if you're wondering why I'm so pissed, she posted this. Bombs are dropping from the sky in Ukraine. Does anyone think of the animals? Not just the terrified pets inside of homes, but all animals in cages already being hurt by factory farms. Fearful foxes, bewildered birds, and petrified pigs and cows on factory farms. Does anyone wonder who will feed them or put their bandages on their wounds?
No, usually when there's like a war and a humanitarian crisis going on, we care about the people. And don't get me wrong, I've also seen images of like Ukrainian individuals who've taken like their pets with them when they've gone into like underground areas to be safe from bombings and other things. And it's very sad. But the main thing is the humanitarian crisis going on with Russia's completely unwarranted invasion of a sovereign country in order to make Vladimir Putin hard or whatever reason he's doing it. Seriously, it's messed up. Vegan teacher, what are you doing? Astro Fox says, "Can YouTube sanction the vegan teacher, please?" And Bittergrin says, "I'm still not sure how vegan teacher knows for sure that none of the victims were vegan." Yeah, it's just stupid. It's stupid of her. Even if there were 0 vegans, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make sense. Devious Chilser says, "What in the actual," and I cannot stress this enough, F. Blackwing Hecate says, "Well, on one hand, vegan teacher can F off. Her alliteration game is on fire."
Animals, like horses being ridden by police, even here in Canada, are just more of innocent victims that suffer when humans act like God and destroy everything. Here are the poll answers. I've never thought of it like that before. In a vegan world, we would not be so uncaring and selfish. In a vegan world, we would use words, not bombs.
That doesn't even make sense. If people were all vegan, people would still kill each other. What are you talking about? What about being vegan would have anything to do with whether or not people are willing to perpetuate war on others? That doesn't make any sense.
In a vegan world, we would get our priorities together. I will think about this and write a comment below. That's what she posted. Now, this is just fucking stupid. Like, I'm sorry, but this is so fucking tone deaf.
Yep.
This is so tone deaf.
Who is this? I like this person. Subscribe. The Random Show. Here's a link to this person if you want to subscribe. She's assuming vegans would treat humans the way they treat animals, but that doesn't even make sense from a standpoint of the vegan teacher. She's a vegan, and she hates basically every person. Lily Lovestuff says, "A Ukrainian singer I listened to was scrambling trying to find her dog's paperwork to take the dog to Turkey with her and her kids. She couldn't find them, so her dog is staying with her husband since he can't leave." That's really, really unfortunate. I hope, her husband and the dog are going to be okay, along with everyone in Ukraine. It's such a shitty shitty situation. And it even feels like disrespectful for me to just call it a shitty situation, because it's not impactful enough to actually illustrate how messed up what is going on is. It's beyond my ability to articulate it, which is unfortunate, but I don't know. Dr. Gamble says there could be a nuclear holocaust and vegan teacher would still be like, you think dying a slow and painful death via radiation poisoning is awful? Well, let me tell you about the animals. What the actual F? Ashiboo says she probably thinks that universal veganism would prevent wars, etc. because she equates vegan with good, nice person. Well, that's a fallacy. Blackwing Hecate says, I don't even know if... I'm not going to read that, because I don't care to, like... Oh, no, you're not. You're just saying goals. That's fine. This lady has transition goals. That's fine. I'm sorry. I misread that for a second. Stephen J. Neptune Man says, happy 5-month anniversary. Thanks for... It's actually 11 months. This is just a 5-month streak. Thank you very much. And Kirthin with 100 bits says, hey, vegan teacher, if you really care, here are some charities, including one specifically for animals that you can donate to. Oh, nice.
People are fucking dying. People are dying. Can you for once get your head out of your freaking butt? You're so obsessed with poop. Can you please quit focusing on things that involve your derriere and talking out of it? And actually look at the world around you and know when to shut your mouth? Like, I have been trying to be as, open and, thinking about everything before I say it for the longest time when it comes to you, Miss Katie. But this, I thought I was pissed when you said that Betty White was fucking, what you said. I'm not going to say it here.
She called Betty White a Nazi, if I remember correctly.
I thought I was pissed every single time that you've been racist, homophobic, xenophobic, every phobic and ism that exists. But this. People are fucking dying. There is women and children and men dying. Oh, but if they're meat eaters, it's okay, right? You said that about 9/11. You said it was okay that meat eaters died in 9/11, but the vegan deaths were travesties. And now you're trying to backtrack that and say that, oh, I didn't say that. I was just agreeing with some things that somebody said that said that. You still agreed. You still agreed with something a monster like that would say. Did you not? You did. You know you did. Now, saying shit like this, who's gonna feed the animals? Obviously, not the people that are dying. The people that you don't give a fucking shit about because you would rather spew garbage and hatred and just all of this. Worry about yourself. If this doesn't involve you, be quiet. This is so tone deaf. I can't even. I wasn't even going to make a video and post today. I was just so stressed out about the events happening in the world. Not just Ukraine, but I have friends in Texas right now that are freaking out because of everything that Greg Abbott is doing to the trans community. I have trans friends that are stressed to the max right now, that are worrying about this, that are the events happening with witch hunting by Pastor Greg Locke, trying to initiate the next Salem witch trials. Everything going on in the world right now. I wasn't going to make a video, but this really set me over the edge. Now let me be clear. Don't go hate on Miss Katie. Don't send any hate. Don't send anything in any way, shape, or form. Bullying, threats, nothing. Okay? That's not what this is.
Zarek asks, what's this about a witch trial? Greg Locke, who is a pastor, far-right, election conspiracy theorist peddling, QAnon adjacent. I don't know if he's, actually into QAnon, but he's got some crossover with the same audience. Basically, in his congregation the other week, said that there were 6 witches in his congregation, and he was going to, reveal them. I and many others speculated that they were perhaps women that he had come on to, and they had, you know, been like, no, or had done some other things to him, or they had something on him, and he was basically trying to blackmail them by turning the crazy congregation he's sort of cultivated against them. I don't know. Either way, it was just an insane clip. You can find it online. All you gotta do is type his name. Witch. Blackwing Hecate says, whoever wished someone else would live in interesting times really effed up.
About, I needed to just vent about this because I have been more than courteous with this woman. After everything that I've went through personally with her and her fan base, with everything that she's done, I have been the most respectful. I have spoken in the calmest voice that I possibly can. But this is fucking enough. This is so infuriating and so tone deaf. It's mind-boggling. This is so uncalled for. Just for you to do shit for shock value. Well, you got me shocked, Miss Katie. You had me fucking shocked. This is more than enough from you. If you don't get even a strike on your channel for this, I will be so surprised. But you know what? I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised as much shit as you get away with. I'm done. I'm done. I thought I had to share this. Report this. If you guys feel like it, please report this. This is more than enough. This is I can't even. I am shaking. I can't even. Yeah, that's it. That's what I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you feel like it, please hit the like and the subscribe button for shits and gigs. I'm on my way to 2,000 subscribers. Yep, there's the like and subscribe spiel. I'm done. Bye.
Whew. I like the indignation. My watch is telling me to get up and stand and move, so I'm gonna do that. Woo, I'm moving, watch. I'm doing it. I did the thing. I did it. Why isn't it? I did it. I'm moving. I'm literally... Why won't it detect my movement? Okay, I'll just say not now, even though I did it, you stupid bitch watch. Here's this person's channel, if you want to give her a subscribe. Freezerburn says, I'm a trans Texan that is also freaking out about Greg Abbott, so mood, nice person in the video. Narnia Owl says, I just can't imagine waking up in this day and age and thinking to myself, Freezerburn, god damn it. I just can't imagine waking up in this day and age and thinking to myself, okay, let's make some people's lives even worse today. Yeah, this seems like the kind of channel I'd like. I'll check out her stuff later. You know, since we're talking about that vegan teacher anyway, we might as well go to the other video I had queued up for her. And this is a video where she's probably going to be homophobic again. Who knows? This is a video called, God, what was the thumbnail? I think it was more the thumbnail that got to me. And I think the thumbnail said something along the lines of, why do LGBT people want vegans to stay in the closet? Yeah, why do these LGBTQ want to keep vegans in the closet is the thumbnail of this video. Yeah, so let's take a look.
All forms of discrimination are wrong. If you don't like being oppressed, don't do it to others. You were born vegan. You just don't remember.
No, people are not born vegan. Saying you're born vegan is like if someone said, "Oh, you're born," and I don't like when like atheists say this either, even though I'm non-religious. When someone's like, "You were born atheist," I mean, you were just born a baby. Babies don't have opinions. They don't have like thoughts on that level. They don't have any opinions. They're not vegan. They're not atheist. They're not Republican or Democrat or anything. They're just babies. They're tiny little people that have not formed any opinions on anything. They are nothing.
Hello students! Welcome to class and welcome to TikTok today. Today we're looking at this song called Happy Vegan Pride Day. This is a song that I composed on November 1st, 2020, and right now it is on YouTube and it's also over on TikTok. So we're going to have a look at the lyrics here, and we're also going to be looking at the comment section here. And the first comment we see is, I'm bi, vegan, and no, just no. So.
Oh, she's going to be mad because there's LGBTQ people in this who are going to be like, no. E-Tune says, I come back from watching YouTube segments to this? Sorry. Broadlock Moses says, states aren't making anti-vegan bills. True. Although, honestly, Texas, they might do that next, based on how shitty they've been being. Hawthorne says, you were born and able to eat solid food, so... Stromboli says, I love that in my area, COVID, I'm getting good enough that I can start treating my local comic book shops like a library again. I buy, then read there. Nice. And then, Bittergrin says, if babies aren't Republicans, then why do all Republicans act like babies? Checkmate, Hannah. True. I've been foiled by facts and logic.
Do you really think this person is actually vegan? I doubt it.
They probably are. I don't think people are going into... I don't know if you posted something and someone did something, or it's a post on some other vegan page. I don't think people are just going there to mess with you.
Probably somebody who eats a lot of plants, but not ethically vegan, because there's no explanation here at all. You know, it would be actually interesting, wouldn't it, to go and click on...
Their explanation would presumably be that vegans are not and have never been made illegal by the state or discriminated against by the state in the same way that LGBTQ people have been. So having a vegan pride day kind of, how do I put this? Trivializes why there even is an LGBTQ Pride Month or celebration or anything along those lines. Do I care that much about this in particular? No, but it does kind of make me go, that's maybe a different word. A celebration of being vegan. Cool. But again, they're talking about coming out of the closet in this and living their lives openly, co-opting a lot of language from the LGBTQ community, which, like, there's a reason that LGBTQ people have to come out of the closet. It's because society actively, in many cases, discriminates against LGBTQ people, like myself. Doesn't happen very much for vegans. Now, I'm not saying it's easy to be a vegan. It certainly isn't. Your diet is restricted, and therefore it's harder to get options at places. It's harder to, especially if you're in a place where there's just people serving food to you with no consideration for you as an individual. You might not have anything. I'm not saying there aren't difficulties, but it is on a completely different plane of existence than actual discrimination because of your identity. Different things. Stone Corbell says, no one who disagrees with me is vegan, screech. MMO Addicted says, I'm going to be driving to the border this weekend, likely just an update. We'll see you later. Stay safe.
The account of Liz. Let's see what happens when we click there. What do we get? Maybe I have to press on the... there she is. Okay, here's Liz, who is supposedly... The person is supposedly vegan, all right? So does it say it here? Nope.
Wait, is she under the impression that everyone who's vegan feels the need to post that in their bio? Like it's such a big part of their identity that they feel the need to broadcast that to everyone?
No sign of veganism. Do we see any talk about it? No. No sign of talking about the animals or veganism. And this person says that they're vegan.
What's more repulsive, white pride or vegan pride? White pride, are you kidding me? The idea of white pride is entirely couched in white supremacy, at least in the United States.
So this is a typical thing. A cat video, which is something that everybody posts. This is a typical thing that carnists do. They say that they're vegan, and then they say no, just no, but they're not actually vegan. So let's go back and look at the actual video. So, boop. All right, so here's the song. If you want to hear a little bit of it, look at the lyrics.
No one has ever... What are you talking about? Okay, we're gonna read the lyrics to this song because she's playing it, but it's a little hard to hear. Stone Corbell says, if veganism isn't your entire personality, you're not really vegan. Zozo Horror Show says, if you're not insufferable, you aren't a real vegan. The vegan teacher. So it says, we're coming out of the closet today. We're proud to announce we were born this way. No, you weren't. We don't need no conversion therapy. We just need to live our ethical vegan lives openly. No one in the history of ever has done anything even resembling conversion therapy for vegans. You fucking monster. That's not a thing. Everything else is taken, yo. Thanks for 22 months. We're not too happy that our palates were R-worded when we were young and you shoved death on our plates. If we'd have known the violence this came from, we'd have said, no way I'm consenting to that, because I know right from wrong. Again, trivializing sexual assault by comparing it to eating meat as a child. MMO Addicted says, by the way, the Russian media accidentally posted a propaganda article of how Putin answered the Ukraine question. For F's sake, that's not even a subtle allusion to Nazism. Oof.
We're not too happy that our palates were raped when we were young and you shoved death on our plates. If we didn't know the violence this came from, we'd have said no way I'm consenting to that, 'cause I know right from wrong. Happy Vegan Pride Day, Happy Vegan Declaration Day. Thanks for the parade and for supporting us this way. We can be vegan. Thanks so much for the hugs and gifts. We love the veggies, fruits, nuts, seeds, and tofu. We love the party music and that you're all becoming vegan too. You're gonna help us save the animals and the planet. Happy Vegan Pride Day to me and you.
All right, so that's the song. You've heard it. You've seen the lyrics. It's 1 minute long. And it's all about being proud to be vegan.
Again, I don't care if you're proud to be vegan, but co-opting the language of the LGBTQ movements, which have actively had to fight for decades and decades in the United States in order to get the barest amount of civil rights and to be allowed to live our lives openly and freely, and still having concerns about things like having CPS used and weaponized against us in places like Texas, or bills that keep us from being able to just use public bathrooms, stuff like that. Don't co-opt that. It makes you look like an idiot. It makes you look like a monster. Not that Katie matters, we've seen her content before, but still, maybe reconsider. Logarth says, I have a distinct sense that Putin is probably somewhere socially distancing so he doesn't catch COVID-84. Oh, I get it.
And to not be afraid to come out of the closet. In other words, don't be afraid about the word vegan. Don't be afraid to use it in a public setting. Don't be afraid to have shirts that say you're vegan. Be proud of it because it means you're an animal defender.
I've literally never met anyone who is like, quote, in the closet about being vegan. Ever. I've never heard of that.
And that is something to be proud of. And I'm also stating here that it's not your fault that you became not vegan. It was when your parents shoved dead animals down your throat. But in fact, by the definition, you're still vegan if you are forced to eat foods that you didn't even know what they were. So if your parents shoved dead animals down your throat and you didn't know the difference between what a potato was, a carrot was, and what a dead animal was on your plate or that was on the spoon that your mother was giving you, that's not your fault. So by definition, you're still vegan. And this is what I'm trying to tell people in the song here, that in this case, the person's saying, we're not too happy that our palates were raped.
We're proud to announce we were born this way. We don't need no conversion therapy. We just need to live our ethical vegan lives openly. We're not too happy that our palates were raped when we were young and you shoved death on our plates. If we'd have known the violence this came from, we'd have said no way I'm consenting to that, 'cause I know right from wrong.
Nick says, I don't consent to you shoving your persecution fetish on us, Karen.
Happy Vegan Pride Day. Happy Vegan Declaration Day.
MMO Addicted says, so has she made the case that Ukraine invasion is a net positive because there's a lot of farming going on, yet or not? Is it weird that I expect that of her? She said we watched some stuff earlier. She said some negative things about it that I don't want to repeat. Very callous remarks.
Thanks for the parade and for supporting us this way. You can be vegan. Thanks so much for the hugs and gifts. We love the veggies, fruits, nuts, seeds, and tofu. We love the party music that you're all becoming vegan too. You're gonna help us save the animals and the planet. Happy Vegan Friday to me and you.
So you can see that the song is a little bit tongue-in-cheek, because when people come out of the closet from the LGBTQ community, of which, by the way, I am a member, I am bi, that people are okay with.
You should know better than Katie. You should know much better. I know she's mentioned being bi before. That's fine. You should know better.
Was celebrating that, and they talk about it. There's a day where they celebrate in the streets. But if somebody ever comes out as vegan, of course what happens to them is they are treated terribly. If they try to defend the animals, people try to attack them. In fact, when I came out of the closet as bi, nothing happened to me. It was completely uneventful. It was just no big deal whatsoever. But when I started to become an animal rights activist and defend all animals, the bees and the birds and the chickens and the pigs and the cows, that is when I received death threats.
I don't think anyone should be receiving death threats, so let me be clear about that. But Katie, no one cares that you're vegan. It's fine that you're vegan. I'm happy you're vegan. My fiance's vegan. Veganism's great. I think it's awesome. I don't dislike you because you're vegan. I dislike you because you're an awful person. I think you're misconstruing and thinking people dislike you because you're vegan. It's not. It's because you're obnoxious, condescending, and have actively said you don't care about victims of various tragedies because they aren't vegan. You're a bad person.
Not before. So we're looking over here. We already looked at Liz's comment. We've established that she's not even vegan, so we can't really take that one serious.
Oh, and also, vegan teacher, your experience with coming out is not something you can transfer to everyone else. Just to be clear. Because you came out as bi, and it was fine, I'm happy for you, that doesn't mean it is for everyone. It's not the case. Nick says, you probably weren't being a see you next Tuesday about being bi, Katie.
Seriously. And somebody else says, don't go vegan anymore and I'll pay you 100 euros. Which is like saying, if you become racist, I will pay you money. That is what this person is essentially saying. They want you to be racist towards animals. How crazy is that? Now, why this comment isn't blocked by TikTok, I don't know. They seem to block all kinds of other things.
Why would they block that?
I guess I could go ahead and block it myself. You see, I do have a button here. I could report it. I could delete it. But if I reported this, the people at TikTok, who are often themselves people who eat animals, will probably just say, well, the person did nothing wrong. I don't know.
They didn't do anything wrong. I think it's a stupid joke. I think it's snarky in just an obnoxious way, but they didn't break any rules. What?
Though. But I don't feel the need
Flower Girl 13, thanks for 20 months.
to block this comment because I think it speaks volumes on its own. It shows people how crazy it is, and it gives me an opportunity to talk about it here. So somebody says, that's kind of homophobic. You're comparing the LGBTQ to veganism. So
Yeah.
I would like to invite you to tell me where in this song do I say anything against the LGBTQ community, of which I'm part.
Again, you're comparing being vegan to being LGBTQ. Like I said, trivializing the actual struggles faced by LGBTQ people to this very day. Seriously. This is not hard to understand. You very explicitly made reference to different things in this song. Coming out of the closet, being born this way, conversion therapy, living openly. You know what you were doing, that was the intent of the song, and then afterward trying to gaslight people into being like, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Just makes you look like a crazy person.
Which words exactly? That's right. There are none. In no way is this song homophobic. This is, again, a person who is suffering from, sorry about my finger there. This person is suffering from cognitive dissonance. This person likes to think that they're a good person, and they like to think that they're not hurting anyone, but they know that I'm telling the truth, that they are paying for so much.
Everyone who disagrees with me has cognitive dissonance. Nick says, not to mention it makes me go ooh moist to get flamed online. I don't know what that meant.
Suffering, and it's completely
You didn't miss Terrence, no.
Are you going to make another clueless video on her? Hope you know the difference between comparing and equating, says Activist Dream. The Activist Dream understands that there is a difference between comparing and equating. You can compare anything, but saying that they're the same thing, that's different. So thank you to Activist Dream, who is here defending the animals. That's great. Somebody else here says, I'm lesbian and eating steak right now. So you can see
It's the vegan joke.
that maybe the LGBTQ community is starting to feel pretty empowered, and maybe they don't need as much defending as they did 10, 20 years ago. I mean, this is a person who is apparently...
See what I'm saying about vegan teacher? The second she sees someone isn't supportive of her, like, not even unsupportive, but someone who isn't a vegan, all of a sudden she's like, we need to not defend them, we need to take their rights away, if they die, I don't care.
Lesbian, part of the community, and yet she hurts other females. Isn't that strange? When you eat a steak, you are paying somebody to manipulate a male. That means to masturbate him, force him to give his sperm. So this person here, Kokichi, or Kokiki, is somebody who is okay with the sexual assault of animals, forcing that sperm into a female. So this person who is a lesbian, who is probably somebody who complains and says that their group is oppressed, pays for the oppression of other beings.
Again, you are comparing human beings to non-human animals, which, even though you disagree, most people do not find to be moral equivalents. MMO Addicted says, you disagree with me, so your validity is now revoked. It was conditional on you agreeing with me. Devious Chilster says, wait, but what if that lesbian only eats cattle naturally out in the wild and only eats the male cows? Is she still hurting women, even in vegan teacher's logic? She could probably find some way.
What else do we have? Let's look at the reply here.
She would, well, I don't know.
Wish I could be goth. Cows taste good. Okay. Yeah, but it's not about whether they taste good or not. I used to eat them as well, and I regret it because I realize now how much suffering they went through. It's not about your taste pleasure. Your taste pleasure is not more important than someone's life. And somebody else here says, did you know that McDonald's has a vegan burger? Fun fact, me and my friend tried it. So that's very great. I play Roblox. That's a nice way of saying that you're open. And somebody asked, was it good? So this is really good. And this person got 2 likes. I should give that a like too. And
Devious Shelter says, wait, but what if that oh, I read that one. Blackwing Hecate, I missed your bit. Sorry, said, this feels like one of those every group has this one asshole. If your group doesn't, it's probably you, E. Yeah. Vegan teacher, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Vegan teacher is not representative of veganism or vegans. She really isn't. Every vegan I've ever talked to about vegan teacher, whether it's here in chat or my fiance Baha, they hate vegan teacher. She's awful. She isn't about animal activism. She's about self-aggrandizing herself through the lens of pretending to be an animal rights activist. It's really frustrating.
And, you know, congratulations
Yes, chickens lay eggs, regardless.
to this person who called I Play Roblox. Now, it's possible that this person is vegan and just too afraid to come out of the closet as a vegan. Because, as you know, vegan phobia exists.
No! Systemically, no, it does not. I'm sure there are people out there who are assholes to vegans because they're douchebags. It is not a big issue. It just isn't.
It's a horrible thing. It's as bad as racism and homophobia, and people treat you badly. In fact, I have had death threats about simply because I am vegan.
Katie, again, no one should ever send death threats to anyone, to be clear, but I guarantee, no, that is not why. It is because you are a terrible person.
Your song sounds great on mute. This is an old one. People say that all the time. It's not very unique. How about you comment about the lyrics? There, the lyrics are on mute. Why don't you comment about what's going on here in this song? This is a song about animal liberation, and it's also about human liberation. It is celebrating the liberation of everyone. It's not making fun of anybody, not the LGBTQ community, and definitely not the animals either. All right, what do we have here? So here's actually where I put a comment. It says, being vegan and LGBTQ are not the same. So I said, are you sure about that? Wait, nobody uses conversion therapy to make someone vegan. And I said, are you sure about that? You obviously haven't talked to the vegan teens I know whose parents are threatening to kick them out if they don't eat death. So this is what happens.
That's not what conversion therapy is, Katie. What are you talking about? Do you even know what conversion therapy is? Conversion therapy isn't saying, if you don't stop being gay, I'm gonna kick you out. That's a separate thing. Conversion therapy is like taking people to a camp somewhere and doing all sorts of abusive things to them to try and stop them from being who they are. Like, there have been instances of, like, forced electroshock therapy. What are you talking about? You clearly don't even know what the words you're using mean.
When you have teenagers who want to be vegan and whose parents eat bacon and ham and all kinds of other animals that suffered tremendously in Holocaust-like conditions, and their child...
Ugh. Nick says, the only vegan phobia I've seen are idiot boomers on Facebook who get triggered at the availability of vegetarian meat substitutes. I wouldn't even call that vegan phobia. I'd just call that people being stupid.
tries to be brave and speak out and say, you know, I don't want to hurt these animals. Sometimes the parents, if it's
But I'm a Cheerleader is a great movie.
the father, I know that fathers have threatened to beat up the kid and say, if you don't eat the meat, you're going to get beat up or kicked out of the house. And the reason for that is because those parents are so ashamed that they are eating these animals that they want to silence their child. Instead, they should be so proud of their child. If you are a non-vegan parent right now and your child is trying to be vegan and your child tells you that they want to come out of the closet and be vegan and defend animals, you should be proud of them in the same way that you are proud of the LGBTQ community. Your child has finally realized that he or she was born vegan. And although you shove dead body parts down their throat, it is in a way forgivable if you didn't know. It is. I mean, I fed my own children meat, dairy, and eggs when I didn't clue in yet. But when you know better, you can do better, and then you can change and grow and be kind to the animals and not hurt them. Let's look over here for another comment.
Probably Lannister, thanks for 16 months.
Here we have, it's extremely disrespectful to the LGBTQ community and rape victims. You shouldn't say those things. And my response to that is, the animals think it's disrespectful of you to pay people to stab them in the throat. So this person thinks it's disrespectful just to talk about defending the animals and sometimes and talk about these things. And I'm saying it's actually this person, Arson, is again one of these people who's suffering from cognitive dissonance, who eats animals and is just getting.
Again, her fundamental disconnect is that she fails to understand or chooses not to understand that people do not consider non-human animals to be the moral equivalents of human beings.
One or two clicks here. It takes 100 clicks to become vegan, and at first, many people are combative. This person says, I'm fuming, is so angry, but they're really only angry at themselves. They're embarrassed because they know that I am right, that it is wrong to hurt these innocent beings who've never done a single thing wrong to you just for taste pleasure, when you could easily go to the store and buy anything else. That's why this person is fuming. It has nothing to do with me. It's simply
Now who has cognitive dissonance?
to do with themselves, realizing how they look, getting a glimpse of themselves in the mirror. Great, she's back. Someone get her off this app and put her in a nursing home or a mental hospital. So this person, again, doesn't talk about the issue at all, simply tries to engage in ad hominem attacks, which is a personal attack. There's lots of lyrics here that we could talk about. We could talk about how coming out of the closet is important as a vegan, to speak out, to defend the animals, and how you should be proud of yourself. And all parents should be proud of if their kids are telling them that they want to stop hurting animals. You should be really proud of your child for being vegan.
Auntie Pretzel says she just has to keep talking about an actual genocide, the absolute worst event of all history Oh, she has to compare the absolute worst event in history to farming. It's disgusting. She was a teacher. She likely taught about the Holocaust. Probably not. I think she was like a kindergarten teacher. I could be wrong, though. Nick says, taste pleasure, you mean dat mouth feel?
And what else? So now, okay, you called coming out selfish, says somebody. Well, what I said is that coming out of the closet is a selfish act. You're doing it for yourself. Coming out of the closet as a vegan is for the animals. It's because you're telling people you are no longer going to hurt them.
She taught English? Okay. Why am I thinking kindergarten for some reason?
And you're trying to encourage other people to also defend them. Coming out of the closet, of course, if you're an LGBTQ, you should, because that's your authentic self, and it's great. If I had a friend who was a member of the LGBTQ, I'd of course want to know, because it's just like another thing, like knowing that they like pizza and maybe they don't like lasagna. I don't know.
That's what veganism is like, vegan teacher.
It's just, why not tell people? It's fine. But let's not
It's because she treats everyone like they're small children and condescending. Yeah, that's probably why.
pretend that it's an altruistic thing. However, being vegan it's about defending the innocent. That's what.
It isn't even inherently. Being vegan just means you don't eat any animal products or use animal products, depending on how you're defining your veganism. That's what it means. It doesn't inherently mean you're an animal rights activist, vegan teacher.
Being vegan is about. So, sorry about my finger all the time. So, no, I'm not making fun of the LGBTQ community. Again, I am a member of the LGBTQ community, and for years I fought here in Canada for the right of the LGBTQ to be able to marry and to be able to adopt children. So this is completely ridiculous. As a trans, no, just no, we don't claim you.
For some reason, she didn't want to read Ace Flux Demi Pan Romantic. I don't know why. I don't know if she just couldn't say it or if she didn't want to say it, but that's the word she skipped.
We don't really care about your sexual orientation, actually. Well,
I don't care about your eating habits.
what we care about is that you stop hurting animals. You aren't oppressed if you're vegan. Queer people actually harmed by society. But yes, you are oppressed if you're vegan, and you can see by the vegan phobia in this comment section, and by the fact that people actually are very cruel to vegans, for vegan children. People shove bacon in their faces at school, and that's really rude and cruel and deliberately trying to hurt them because...
Wait, you guys got bacon in school? Shit. Wish we got bacon in school.
because they know that they're sensitive and they care about the animals. Okay, and somebody says, get her out of here now. Well, again, this person, Nightshade, is feeling guilty, doesn't want to hear me talking about the animals. And what the fuck, it's vegan teacher, that's nothing. I'm speechless, and is tagging a friend. And then here somebody says, we aren't claiming you. Nobody should be claiming anybody else.
Again, she didn't want to say as a demigirl omni. That's interesting. Does she just not want to talk about, like, you know, the sort of, not the LGBT portion, but sort of the Q portion that involves a lot of other stuff? She seems uncomfortable talking about it, even saying different stuff like demigirl, all that kind of stuff. I'm not super familiar with, you know, all the other stuff that falls under the LGBTQ umbrella, but I'm always willing to learn and whatever, and I'm cool with however people identify and all that. That's awesome. She seems uncomfortable with it, though, which is interesting. Stone Corbell says, people saying mean things to you in response to your asinine behavior is not the same thing as being systemically harmed by society. Agreed. Blackwing Hecate says she knows that it's possible to be a member of a group and still be bigoted against that group, right? Blair White, Jesse Lee Peterson, Ben Shapiro, for example.
We're all individuals here. Everyone is different. I found the vegan teacher. Okay, this is not my only issue with this, but Percy Pig don't deserve this. Okay, I don't know what you're talking about. Disrespectful, report. You would want to report somebody. This person wants to report some.
Literally earlier in this video, there was someone who just made like a bad joke about paying someone £100 to stop being vegan, and you said that should be removed. So, glass houses. You feel that should be part of the LGB Alliance. Kawabo12, thanks for subscribing.
Somebody who's saying, don't hurt animals. How crazy is that? So if these were cats and dogs here, and I'm saying let's not hurt them, then would it be okay? Then would it be okay? Hey, Mr. Leave Me Alone. I guess you just want to report me because you just want me out of your face, because you want all vegans to stop talking because it makes you feel guilty, because you can't control yourself. Learn how to control yourself. Your taste buds are not more important than the animals' lives. No, I'm not mocking anybody. And here's somebody who is clearly gay and probably hates homophobia and yet engages in vegan phobia. Saying, chicken tastes good.
Making fun of you for being vegan isn't depression. And they're not even... I would imagine this is a person who probably doesn't actually care so much about veganism as they do the fact that you're an asshole.
Is like saying, oh, I like to hurt black people. That's the equivalent. You're
No, it's not.
saying you like to hurt chickens. We are here defending these chickens.
Hey, vegan teacher, did you know it's actually pretty racist to compare minority groups to literal animals? Let's not.
From harm. That's what we're doing. And you're saying this is like, it would be like somebody coming into a protest, which is trying to help defend dark-skinned people from racism, and you coming in there and saying that you want to harm them. You'd like to eat them. It is wrong what you're doing. If you are gay, you should understand that oppression is wrong, racism is wrong, homophobia is wrong, and coming here and being vegan phobic on a page to try to tell us that you like hurting the victims is also wrong. It's not the same. Girl LGBT is not the same to vegan people. Not sure what that means. This is so disrespectful.
How did you not understand what that means? They were saying that being vegan isn't the same as being LGBT.
You don't need to come out to say you're vegan. Okay, so this is an integral part of who somebody is. So somebody's vegan. It is essentially a moral baseline. You're saying, no, keep that to yourself. But hey.
They're not saying keep it to yourself. They're just saying you don't, like, it's not a coming out. You're just like, oh, I'm vegan. And then it'll probably come up at some point. You could even tell people, hey, I became vegan. It's not the same as coming out. That's not what that word means.
All the LGBTQIA should come out. But if you're vegan, no, shh, don't tell anybody. Keep it to yourself. Don't talk about saving the animals. Don't talk about saving the billions of animals who are stuck in Holocaust-like conditions right now around the world, being put into gas chambers. Shh, don't tell anybody that. In fact, it's the opposite. You should absolutely tell everybody that you're vegan, and you should encourage the world to be vegan, and you should use the word with pride.
Occult Comic says, hey, Hannah, first time on live. I usually catch you on YouTube. That being said, I'm sorry in advance for this. Ooh, 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 buy gold. Reality is an illusion. Ooh, ooh. God damn it. Thanks for the bits. Nick says, who wants to bet that while she's going through these comments, she's... Whoa, I'm not saying that on Twitch. Oh, no.
That's taunting the LGBTQ.
I get it.
You might say that, but then again, I speak to everyone in the same way. I tell everybody not to hurt animals. This is so homophobic, says somebody. No, it's not. Why are you doing this? I'm gypsy. Many people are racist. Well, racism is wrong. And somebody's saying, how dare you disrespect my community? So we have a lot of different...
Very important sanctions on Vladimir Putin just came down. Vladimir Putin's black belt has been revoked by the International Taekwondo Organization. That's an important one.
Comments here. And...
Complete non sequitur, what we were watching. It just came up on my phone.
Reason for them to be cruel. It's absolutely the right thing to do to defend animals. So thank you everybody for being here and reading these comments with me. Thank you for being vegan. And thank you very much for listening to...
What's the source? Newsweek?
This song. If you have any comments, that would be interesting to listen to.
Alright, here's my comment. Stop it, Katie. No one cares that you're vegan, they care that you're a jerk. That's what they care about. Stop being a jerk. Stop being condescending to everyone. Stop trying to pretend you're oppressed for being vegan. You're not. And no one will care. Daddy Sume says, how dare oo steal my language? Hannah, it was mine too bowie. Only I get to make ho say humiliating things on Twitch. God damn it.
And coming up on screen are going to be a bunch of other videos. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you want to. and look at the other videos. And thank you for subscribing and pressing the notification bell if you want to help us get the animals out of hell. So thank you very much. See you all in the next video. Bye for now.
So that's what Katie's been up to. Same stuff, different day. Making an ass of herself. Let's move on. Occult Comics with 100 bits says, I'm not used to giving bits on Twitch. Here's money, I think? It is. I have no idea. Lost Galaxy is the best Power Rangers run, and Leo is underappreciated as the Red Ranger. I'm not a huge fan of Lost Galaxy. My favorite season's Time Force. Time Force and Lightspeed Rescue are both really good. I'm probably biased, though, because I watched those the most as a kid. But I own the first, 20 seasons on DVD. Time Force is definitely my personal favorite. Your grandma is loving the stream. Hi, Evil Dead Guy's grandma. How are you? Should we do Terence Popp? This is gonna be bad. It is in the title, so I do have to do it. What was the title of this stream? This and the Tate thing we definitely have to do? Okay. So, we haven't looked at Terence Popp in a minute. Terence is going even further down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole. Should I tell you guys the title of the video, or should I just play it so you can find out through the course of the video what he's believing now? Blackwing Hecate says, you should be grateful I decided not to be a brat. Here's my bits. I would have given anyway. Occult Comics says, last of my bits, I couldn't figure out how to send 300 bits all at once, and I love attention. Sue me. Your Ranger is getting finished today. Check your Twitter DM in a bit. Yes! Thank you so much. If for those who don't know, Occult Comics, no one would know, I haven't told you. Occult Comics was drawing a Power Ranger for me that's like me as a Power Ranger, and it's very cool. I'll show it on stream at some point after it's done. I really appreciate it. Adia Blue says, Power Rangers Train Force, best Power Rangers, fight me. Anyway, here it is.
Alright, everybody. Terence Popp here with another episode of Live from the Lair!
Oh, that's loud, sorry.
We're going to start off this episode by me reading part of an article here, which most people out there will automatically jump to the conclusion it's conspiracy theory, blah, blah.
It's conspiracy theory. It's bad debunked conspiracy theory.
Blah, blah. But just stick with me, because I don't do things for no reason. And
I'll bump up the speed in a little bit. I want to get this first bit in his full drunken glory.
I am, you're going to find out the reason on the second half of this video. The first wave, well, that was about voting. The second wave...
Oh, is he anti-women having the right to vote? I'm shocked, I tell you. Real strong, bitter, drunk, divorced dad energy. Kawabo12 with 100 bits says, love your content, Hannah. Came here for Sovereign Citizens, but stayed for the funny and informative commentary. Ooh, I'm glad you have found me.
That was about the pill. Double whammy. The third wave, it was about securing more rights than men.
No.
What does the fourth wave look like?
Ninja Pizza, thanks for 7 months, says, Hannah, your show is easing my suffering while doing math homework. Thank you. I hope you do the numbers real good.
Find out and arm yourself against the war for your soul and this country. You need these books here. Surviving Fourth Wave Feminism, volumes 1 and 2.
Wow, they had enough to write 2 volumes of that. I'm sure it's great. Maps and Mimics says, so weird to hear the sound clips Rainbot uses used for this drunk weirdo's intro.
They're on sale now. Click on the link below in the description because...
Part of me wants to get those for stream just to see how bad they are, if I'm being honest.
If you save masculinity.
But I don't want to give him money, and I doubt they're popular enough to find on the internet anywhere. Mike Mac says, fun fact about Lightspeed Rescue, in the Sentai, all the main demons are siblings except the mom, and all the Rangers are siblings as well. And Lightspeed had the first American original Ranger. Yes, the, oh god, the Silver Ranger. Was he called something else, though? Why am I blanking on his name? The Silver Ranger.
You're gonna wind up saving the world.
I follow a lot of conspiracy theories.
Titanium Ranger, that's what he is. Thank you. I knew it wasn't silver, but his costume looks silver.
And what have you. Ones that go all the way back to how the Bible was assembled and, you know, what parts were removed and why. And there's been so much time has taken place that most people just flat out accept straight up that the Bible is what the Bible is. And don't get me wrong, I've read the Bible like 3 times. I've read the Quran, you know, I've studied the Buddhist teachings, I Ching, Chinese philosophy, other...
How much of this reading were you sober for? Just curious what the retention level was at. Logarth says, this guy is throwing Beekman's World vibes if Beekman was a mad scientist. Beekman was a mad scientist. That was the premise of the show. Maps and Mimic says, I follow a lot of conspiracy theories. Shocker, Terrence. Shocker.
Philosophers, you know.
Hi, Drake.
Now, I don't have a degree in any of this, so...
No.
This was just done on my own behalf, which, in my opinion, is probably some of the best learning you can get. Because there's a marked difference between what a teacher pounds in your head and what the teacher puts in front of you creates curiosity, which motivates you to take that, you know, that piece of knowledge and put it in your brain pan under your own accord. So that's what I'm trying to do here. All right. So on this particular article, I know this is off in the weeds here. Hitler escaped to Argentina, died old, photo stocks and DNA analysis. Now,
I cannot reiterate enough that this has been debunked many times. Hitler died in Berlin. He shot himself in the head. The Russians literally recovered parts of his and Eva Braun's bodies. He's dead. Hitler died. He shot himself in the head because he didn't want to face justice for his crimes against humanity. Hitler died by shooting himself in the head. He did not escape and go anywhere. Blackwing Hackety said, did Terrence mistake Archer for a history show?
we were all told, you know, in school that Hitler and his entourage went into a bunker and...
They did.
They drank poison, shot themselves, what have you. Okay. And then the bodies were taken out back, set on fire, and it is what it is. That's what we were all told.
It's also accurate.
That's what everyone out there believes. But this is one of those articles where I am going to basically tease you with a little bit of curiosity. Because yes, curiosity, it kills the cat. But maybe the cat will die, but he learned a lot of lessons to save a lot of other people that don't die. Alright, so here I have the opening picture here of an old guy, probably north of 70. You can tell by the size of the ears.
Wait, what? Is he one of those people that thinks your ears keep growing your whole life? What the fuck, Terrence? Nick says, that's the only teasing he knows how to do. Ugh.
And the nose, which usually don't stop growing as you age. So you wind up with incredibly large nose and ears. And I dread what I'll look like if I go beyond 65. Because my nose probably is going to be on par with Gonzo from the Muppets. Okay, so they're going through here, and they talk about, how he died with...
Evil Dead Guy says, Quentin Reviews talked about a History Channel show about this idea. Spoilers, they thought a pic of Mo Howard was Hitler. I've seen that video. It's great. Check out Quentin Reviews.
Eva Braun. It was a suicide pact in 1945. And they go on to talk here in regards to how he actually did it. And, Russia basically took possession of the bunker, took the body, and what have you. Now, rumor has it that this body that was, Adolf Hitler was put in storage and gloated over for years to come by the leader of the USSR, which I don't really find hard to believe, because if you're willing to march hundreds of millions of people into concentration camps or let them die of starvation, in my opinion, you're pretty jacked up into thinking me. In this part here, there was an agreement.
Logarth says, Lupin III also had this storyline in, 1978, Lupin versus Mammo.
Agreement with the U.S. that Hitler would run away and that he shouldn't fall into the hands of the Soviets. Part of me is like, yeah, that could happen, and the greater portion of me is saying, no, my government would never fucking do that. He's an enemy to this country, blah, blah, blah. Okay.
What is that claim even based upon? Historian Abel Basti details a hypothesis in a new edition of his book published in Argentina, Hitler in Exile, an account now making headlines even with such mainstream media as the Huffington Post. What's his claim? What is his source for this claim even? He's just saying it?
That is the emotional section here. The logical section goes to this. We ran an operation called Paperclip.
Oh my god. Operation Paperclip, while it was a fucked up thing, at the very least the people they recruited from the Nazi science divisions were people who were smart and had engineering or science specialties that they then brought in to work on America's various projects, including things like the Manhattan Project and rocketry and stuff like that. Adolf Hitler would not have helped anyone with anything. Adolf Hitler was a drug-addicted crackpot. He was not someone who you would bring in to help. What are they gonna do? I don't know. Let's get Hitler's strategy brain. Oh wait, he lost World War II? I guess he's real bad at strategy. What are you gonna use him for? Blackwing Hecate says science fiction is fact on the bingo card. Oh wait, wrong show.
At the end of World War II, where we scooped up scientists, raw materials, prototypes, plans, and a lot of those scientists and people who held high levels of expertise were given a pass. And if you don't believe me, if you watch the initial launch of the first moon mission, you will see von Braun in the control room.
Does he think it's a secret that von Braun was a Nazi? That wasn't even a secret in the 60s. That was a known thing. You guys know, How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Dr. Strangelove, How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb, a Kubrick film. There's a character in that entirely satirizing the idea of people like Werner von Braun. This was known. There were literally a parody song made. Yeah, there's a song about von Braun being a former Nazi now working with the government. That's not a secret. It wasn't a secret back then.
Yes, the von Braun was the guy who built...
Let's look at the song. If I have to cut this part out of the YouTube upload, it's fine. I just want to show you to you people how little of a secret it was. It's public domain? Yes. What's the name of it? There we go.
Well, speaking of bombs, what is it that makes America the world's greatest nuclear power? And what is it that will make it possible for us to spend $20,000 million of our taxpayers' money to put some idiot on the moon? Well, it was the great, enormous superiority of American technology, of course, as provided by our great American scientists, such as Dr. Werner von Braun.
Hydrate.
Gather round while I sing you of Werner von Braun, a man whose allegiance is ruled by expedience. Call him a Nazi, he won't even frown. Nazi schmatzi, says Werner von Braun. Don't say that he's hypocritical, say rather that he's apolitical. Once the rockets are up, who cares where they come down? That's not my department, says Werner von Braun. Some have harsh words for this man of renown, but some think our attitude should be one of gratitude, like the widows and cripples in old London town, who owe their large pensions to Werner von Braun. You too may be a big hero once you've learned to count backwards to zero. In German or English, I know how to count down. And I'm learning Chinese, says Werner von Braun.
So again, this was not a secret. It was a known thing in pop culture that Werner von Braun was brought in to work for the United States after the collapse of Nazi Germany. Prokagam says, I work in defense and always use the line, once the rockets are up, who cares where they come down? That's not my department. All the time is a bit of a morbid joke. Hey, a job's a job. And then Nick with a link. Oh no, what's this? Pat Robertson came out of retirement to claim that Putin is being compelled by God to invade Ukraine in preparation for end times invasion of Israel. Oh, God.
I think you can say, well, Putin's out of his mind. Yes, maybe so. But at the same time, he's being compelled by God. He went into the Ukraine, but that wasn't his goal. His goal was to move against Israel
Oops.
ultimately. And God is getting ready to do something amazing, and that will be fulfilled. And what Putin is doing by moving as he is.
Yeah, it's not the Ukraine, by the way. It's Ukraine. If you hear someone say the Ukraine, correct them to Ukraine.
To set up Ukraine as a
Logard says, someone let this skeleton out of his box. Please, someone put him back.
staging ground
This was a doc, and it's they saved Hitler's brain.
for one of the
Tucker White says, it's not just Werner von Braun. Pretty much every military space advancement was largely the work of ex-Nazis. In fact, very few high-ranking Nazis were hanged at Nuremberg. Now back to the Hannah. I know, that's what Operation Paperclip was. Werner von Braun was just, like, the most famous public figure about it.
armies, and then across is Erdogan at Turkey, and you've got between them that little Dardanelles area, and it's going to happen. So I just say that is what's coming up. Is Putin crazy? Is he mad? Well, perhaps. But God says, I'm going to put hooks in your jaws, and I'm going to draw you into this battle, whether you like it or not.
I've seen that Hellraiser movie.
And he's being compelled, after the move into the Ukraine, he's being compelled to move again to get a land bridge and then across the Dardanelles with Turkey, and watch what's going to happen next. You read your Bible because it's coming to pass.
God, he's an ass. Anyway, back to Conspiracy Guy. Mike Mack says, my favorite Hitler canon is when he becomes SCP-2430 by Stalin, where he's an immortal who can fell massive amounts of pain, and the funny thing is that the SCP Foundation let people hit him. RMG0006 says, a boomer, with a ton of bits, by the way, thank you very much, very generous. RMG says, a boomer I work with called me a bleeding lefty enough times when I talk to him that I have to ask about a theory I have. All boomers' arguments are just being selfish. They just want to be left alone to F stuff up and without being held accountable for it. Cars, guns, conservation, etc. I'm sorry, I know this is off topic, but I just want to know if I'm crazy or if they're full of crap in every direction. I'm starting to snap. No, there's definitely, and again, this is generalizing. Generalizing is never a great thing to do. But generationally, if we have to generalize, yeah, a certain generation that's the age of boomers tended to grow up in a time where selfishness was a virtue. Selfishness was not considered outside of the norm. Their moral truisms were very different than they are now. Let's put it that way. Dr. White says, hell, if he didn't commit suicide, the U.S. probably hires Joseph Goebbels to run the CIA. You're not wrong. Global Ceasefire, thanks for 5 months.
The V1 and V2, weapons that Germany or the Nazis used on mainly England. And we gave them a pass, said, hey, build rockets for us, and it'll all be forgotten. All right, so that's the logical answer there. Let's see. This also applies to many scientists and the military and spies who later took part in the struggle against the Soviet regime, the Cold War. Okay, it's rumored that he got to safety via a tunnel beneath the Chancellery. I don't know if said...
This has been debunked as well. This tunnel has never existed. There's no evidence it ever existed. It's a spam call.
Tunnel exists. I have not seen any pictures on this. I don't know.
Because the tunnel doesn't exist. He didn't even do the bare minimum research. He didn't do the bare minimum Googling to see that there is no such tunnel. It has never existed.
All I know is that it's been pretty much bulldozed in and they built on top of it. It no longer exists.
It never existed. There has never been evidence that it existed.
Okay. So he goes to the airport where a helicopter is waiting to whisk the dictator to Spain. Now, there were helicopter-type aircraft. They started showing up in a couple prototypes in the late 20s.
One that could get all the way from Berlin to Spain without refueling. Astro Fox says, might be apocryphal, but if I remember correctly, the V2 killed more Nazis in accidents development than it did Brits. It'd be funny.
And by the mid-30s, we did have some, I wouldn't say they're great helicopters, but they operated like the helicopters we have today. Again, I do not know, if Germany had a helicopter on standby, because by the time that happened, Germany had lost all of its air power.
One sec. Oh, do I need anything from the store? Do I need anything from the store? Chat, do I need anything from the store? The grocery store, specifically? I'm being asked. I already have cheese. I don't need more cheese. I have plenty. I think I'm probably good. I don't think I need anything. I have pretzels already. I'm having so much trouble typing lately because my nails are longer than they used to be. KBS with 100 bits says, I'm a Gen Xer and have watched the boomers age. They were told they were super special their whole lives. It's the fault of mass media, which really became a thing when they were very young. They went from hippies to sellout corporate types to the current hateful retirees very smoothly. And Morok says eggplants. All the eggplants. I don't need eggplants. Don't need more lube. I'm pretty sure we have almond milk. I already have candy. I don't need any more candy or anything. What are those water noises? Oh god, can you guys hear that? Why didn't anyone tell me? It's the cat's water fountain. Hold on, I'll turn it off. Is that better? That's probably less annoying. Blackwing Hackety says, the Gambia and the Bahamas, my bad. Wait, what was that in reference to? Oh, there's another one. There are two countries that use the definite article that aren't a plural or political designations, the Gambia and the Congo. Ukraine is not one of them. And then you corrected to the Gambia and the Bahamas.
And the skies were dominated with Allied fighters.
This isn't their only water. They have other water guys. They're not even in here right now.
And Soviet fighters as well. Okay, so they say he traveled to Canary Islands, has made his way to Argentina on a U.
I am wearing pants. Why do you ask? I'm wearing sweatpants.
Boat. All right. I've read in the past that there was 6 U-boats that went unaccounted for, and 4 of the 6 were later recovered in and around some of the ports in South America. So that could be true. Wealthy families who helped him over the years are responsible for organization of his funeral. Let's see, Hitler was buried in an underground bunker, which is now an elegant hotel in the city of Ascan.
None of this is true. These are all unfounded claims, for the record. I don't even feel the need to debunk them because they're not bunked. I don't have to debunk them. They're not even bunking. They're not giving any sort of, like, evidence for these claims. They're just saying them, so I don't even have to debunk them. Yeah, we can speed it up. We're probably not even going to watch the whole video just because I just wanted to point out this is how deep he's getting now into this stuff. It's pretty weird.
Okay, in 1973, the entrance to the bunker was sealed, and 40 people came to say goodbye to Hitler. One of those who attended the funeral, Brazilian serviceman Fernando Nogueira de Aguero, then told a newspaper about the ceremony. Okay, now I watched this particular show about a former CIA operative, Bob Baer, and he put together a documentary in regards to Adolf Hitler. And he went to several compounds and pulled up some old information and flyers in regards to what was going on in and around those properties in South America. Now, a lot of this information was in the hands of the Mossad, which is the secret police for Israel, who pulled a lot of operations that started roughly in 1948 and went all the way into the 80s
And they never found any actual evidence that Hitler was still alive. The United States actually had a small file on it as well. I think it was like 70 pages, which sounds like a lot. 70 pages is not a lot for, like, the CIA to have on any sort of case. And it was just full of, like, any time someone sent in a tip, like, I thought I saw Hitler down at the grocery store in Illinois. It was full of any time anyone made some kind of claim like that. There was never any evidence found that Hitler was still alive. They concluded Hitler did, in fact, die in a bunker, shot himself in the head.
Hunting down these Nazi individuals, which rightfully so. I mean, the shit that they were involved in was fucked up. And they should have done the same thing in Japan, because what Japan did in China was equally, if not worse, in my opinion. And here's the part that freaks me out here. In 2009, they got access to the limited remains of Adolf Hitler and Eva Braun that the Soviets
Oh, is he gonna talk about the bullshit test?
had in their archives.
There was a group that got the remains and completely fucked this up. They looked at the remains and they tested Eva Braun's remains, but not Hitler's. And then they were like, this is actually the skull of a woman, so it can't be Hitler. And it's like, yeah, it's Ava. They were literally burned right next to each other. The remains were intermingled. They knew the remains were both of them.
And guess what? They came back. The DNA tests on Hitler's skull was neither Hitler nor Ava Braun.
You don't have any DNA of Hitler to test against. What are you testing it against?
All right, so what are we hearing here? All right, so you guys are having an internal conflict. You're like, no, this is what I was told. This is what I believed. But now there is an outlier of actual physical evidence that goes against what you were told and what you believe. All right, and you have a choice here. You can have the choice to become curious.
Morok says, in the movie Lupin III, The First, it was revealed that all South American sightings of Hitler were part of an op by Interpol to lure out crazy neo-Nazis. That's kind of funny.
And investigate it more. Or you can fall back on what you were told in school and what everyone around you believes. Okay? That is the first step to becoming a sheeple. Alright?
He unironically used the word sheeple, oh my god!
Now, I'm not saying if you don't believe this or whatever, you're a sheeple. I'm saying if you're not willing to have a little bit of curiosity and use your logic and reason and just fall back on whatever the dogma you were taught or whatever you were told to believe, that is the first symptom of a sheeple. Because most sheeple really don't have any curiosity, and they limit themselves.
They have very few maul swords. Look at how many maul swords this man has. He can't be a sheeple.
At what they are going to do in life or experience because they're worried what other people will think of them. And in my book, when I say, I tell you this in my book, The Warrior's Way and the Soldier's Soul. If you care about what other people think of you, you will forever be their slave. And guess what?
How'd that work out? Your wife ended up leaving you and your kids don't want to talk to you, Terrence. So how'd that work out? Anti-Pretzel says, foul ball. Sources found factually incorrect. Actual research debunks every claim.
You ever watch sheep get herded around? They're like in a big herd, and there's like one or two little barking dogs that basically steer them wherever the owner of the herd wants them to go. There you go. That's done through fear. Just so you know. It's a natural fear between the dog being a predator and the sheep being the prey. They talk about the bones, the DNA not matching. Let's see, the skull, which the Soviets had had basically put forward as proof of Hitler's inflicted gunshot for death.
This is a tiny thing that bothers me just as someone who also streams. But I hate when elements aren't correct. I don't know if you can notice this, but on the right side of his screen capture, it exceeds the frame just slightly so you can see the window capture he's using to capture the frame of the website. Little bit beyond the frame he put it in. Sloppy, Terrence. Never stream drunk. Ferris Heck says, my husband, a blacksmithing teacher, came in to give me a drink. Saw his swords and immediately frowned. Thanks for ruining his day. Your husband sounds cool. Adia Blue says, while you were raising the sheeple from their dark rest, I was studying the Maul Blade.
Decades belongs to an unidentified female. Yes.
It's Ava Braun. It's Ava Braun. Not unidentified. It's Ava. This is the one I was thinking of. Basically, they took the remains and DNA tested and found that it was, for a woman, it was Ava Braun. Braun. I keep saying Brown. It's Braun. I don't know why this article is saying it wasn't her, because it was.
There are two genders. And you can think whatever you want, whatever gender you are. You can feel whatever your gender is. But if they find your dead body and it's I
think you're differentiating, or rather you're not differentiating sex from gender.
Composed or burned up or incinerated, there's only a couple pieces left, and they do a DNA test on it, it's going to come back one or two things. Male or female.
Unless you're intersex. Because that is a thing.
Sorry. Again, if you're one of those people out there who was fooled by this genders on a spectrum thing, and there's 128 different genders, guess where you are? You are one of the sheep in the flock being...
Did he turn this conspiracy video about Hitler into a diatribe against people identifying as, like, not the gender they were given at birth? Seriously? This is the most boomer video of all time.
Being herded to the slaughterhouse because you're a sheeple. Okay, then these videos here, they go to YouTube, of course. You
Hey, you look cute.
Thank you. So do you.
YouTube took them down because
So Lupine is a very chunky girl.
Yeah.
I weighed her.
Hold on. Alright, hello everyone. Devious Chillster says, I like how he says a spectrum and then says there's 120 different genders, proving both he has no idea what gender is, nor what a spectrum is.
They're now becoming...
Some of you can read lips. Great, what did I say? If you think you're Hal from 2001, tell me what I said, Sume.
the platform of censorship.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Alright, I'm not going to read this whole thing to you. I'm just going through the important parts here, just for the... just for the learning points here. All right, so I've presented to you a conspiracy theory article that goes against everything that you were taught in school and everything that you believe in regards to this subject. All right, and we go down here, and there's actually proof via DNA that the parts of dead bodies that they assumed was Hitler and Eva Braun are not them.
It was Eva Braun. Braun. I keep doing that.
So, if you're not a sheeple, you should be asking what happened then, because you want to know. If you're a sheeple, you're like, oh yeah, they're dead. It's 100 years ago. It doesn't matter anymore. It does matter.
What does he even talk about for the rest of the video?
All of our media, from print...
Oh, the rest is just going to be the media's lying deal. So that's what Terrence been up to. Terrence is fully conspiracy, and I know he's done this stuff before. He's been very Q adjacent and stuff like that. Brown is the correct way to pronounce Braun. I guess I assumed it was Braun, but whatever. We're done talking about it anyway. But this is like the weirdest he's gotten lately. Also, he recently did a video that I ended up... Oh, wait, no, was this the video?
Were a Soviet...
This is a weird video because it says, until the laws change, don't get married. But that's a complete cover. That's not what this video is about. He really just called it that so he doesn't get immediately demonetized. This is a video where he does Holocaust revisionism, where he's bringing into question how many people he thinks died in the Holocaust. So, Terrence has gone full crackpot, like, and I'm not going to play this, but, you know, you can see what he's doing. He's looking at the number of deaths that were reported in the Holocaust, and... Just wanted to say that Terrence is, not in a good place. So, let's move on. Hi, Lou. It's the Great Space Coaster. Can you report it? If you want, it's on his Terence Popp channel. Hold on. This is the one. That was Alabama Jones, yes. I didn't watch the whole video. I didn't see him do the Nick Fuentes cookie analogy thing. Sorry, I'm just checking something, then we'll do the Tate video. So, Andrew Tate, one of our least favorite chuds that we look at, has decided to start a podcast. I guess he fancies himself a regular Joe Rogan. Shockingly, I think he's actually less articulate than him, so that's actually kind of impressive. Anyway, Tate's gonna try and do a podcast. I don't know how much of this we're gonna watch, but we're gonna see him struggle through the tech equipment working, and just see what he has to say.
I think I'm live. This is all new to me. I'm not a dork. Alright, so you people are gonna have to give me... You're gonna have to be patient with me. You're here for the emergency meeting test. We're testing out the live emergency meetings. Anyone who's a fan of the Tate brand knows that emergency meetings are the core of our monumental success. So we are going to be doing emergency meetings live here with all of you so you can join in. But before we can do that, I need to work out exactly how the fuck my expensive ass podcast studio works. Because I built this studio.
By that, he means he paid other people to do it.
Spent a bunch of money. And I don't really know how any of it works. I got buttons and shit. Check this. Pow! What do you know about me? You don't know about me.
That's honestly a better angle. You should probably stick with that angle, if I'm being honest. Felicia Angel says, oh no, he looks too happy about being able to work a computer. Oh yeah, it's really funny. Have you guys seen Cobra Kai? You know how Johnny Lawrence in Cobra Kai is like a major boomer and still doesn't understand how computers work, and he's an asshole, but he gets like excited about when he first learns how to use a computer? This has that energy. I know he's a Gen Xer. I'm saying boomer as what's the word I'm thinking of? I know he's literally a Gen Xer, but I'm using boomer in the colloquial way of like an old person who doesn't understand things. A pejorative, sure.
So I can be sitting here, say, zoom in on that bitch, boom, bitch. Next bitch, boom, pow. On the computer, so I go ho cam. Me in the middle, obviously, underneath the tape. I got to readjust things, so. See what I mean? Like, wires are messy. I don't really know exactly what I'm doing. But I think I can play adverts. That's all I care about right now. I'm trying to run the adverts.
I don't care about the content. I care about being able to make money off you people, okay? That's the important thing.
So let's try and run an advert right now. I'm going to come at you with some fire.
It's already just an ad he has. We get it. You're very luxurious. You definitely didn't rent all that shit, and you are pretending to be rich in order to.
It's over. You think I don't know about podcasts?
Doesn't Tate live in Eastern Europe? I don't remember specifically where he lives.
Just because I'm a G.
But yes, it's somewhere in Eastern Europe.
I'm out here on these streets. Got the big guns. But I'm learning how to use computers now. Listen, I'm 35, right? I'm not like you fucking
Romania. He lives in Romania. Thanks, Baha.
youngsters. You're 21, living in the metaverse. I ain't Luke. I got buttons, but I don't really know what a lot of the buttons do. Got a button for sound. Fuck, I just talk for sound. There's fucking a button for sound.
This isn't as charming as he thinks it is. Haha, I'm doing a podcast, but I don't know what these buttons do. Alright, you probably should have figured that out before you started the show then, huh? Or paid someone to do it.
Button for
You claim to have so much money, but you can't hire a producer?
cameras and shit.
I don't have a producer, but that's because I'm broke as shit. I mean, I'm not really broke, but, you know, I'm not rich. I'm not hire a producer rich. Check my DMs. Yeah. Cool.
But I can play adverts now. That's the most important thing. I can let you all know about the fun the War Room had in Dubai. You missed the fuck out. So today's not a proper show. Today's just me messing around with things.
Yes. I gotta show you guys this. Hold on. This is so cool. Let me switch this for a second while I open my Twitter. "'Tis me as a Power Ranger." I love it. I'm a Power Ranger. Where'd your message go? Couldn't you just... Hold on. The Great Spanish Coaster. What would my Zord be? There were talks about a Zord. I think it was going to be a Cobra. I don't know if that'll ever come to fruition. But either way. Very, very cool. Let me give you the Twitter page real quick. If that's fine. Would you like me to post your Twitter? Is that cool? Occult Comics in chat did this, by the way. Why can't I click on your page? I'm going to assume you are okay with me linking to your Twitter. You're damned right. I would love a Twitter shout out. Also, how dare you doubt me? The Zord is on its way. Expect a sketch day. Rad. There's a link. Check out Occult Comics' Twitter page. Very, very cool. Looks like there's some not safe for work stuff, if you're into that. Is that a poodle guy? Is that like a poodle twink? Okay. There looks like there's definitely some furry stuff. I know I got furries in chat, so check it out. Ooh, She-Hulk. That's something else you retweeted, but still. Anyway, back to the Tate video. That is a poodly twink. Nice.
Fucking the diamonds. That's why I get the podcast lights. You'd appreciate 62 carats on the wrist. Right. Do I need a producer? Someone's talking about hiring a producer. Do I need a producer? I don't know. I need a producer. I ain't that black. Yo, Timberland. No. Right. I can play sound effects, I think. You guys hear that? Or did only I hear that? You guys hear a bunch of fucking American Pie music?
What?
I think maybe I can just hear that. I need to know if
Blackwing Hecate says woohoo furry porn.
If you heard that or not.
Yeah, music isn't a sound effect. That's a sound effect.
Hear that shit? Everyone's clapping for me. You hear it? Alright, so now, this is what I mean. So I've got buttons here that make sounds. I need to change the sounds they make. I gotta have one that says like haram, like I said. I gotta go through Tate Confidential, get sound bites. I gotta upload that to my audio board. Don't know how that works. I got a button for like a holding screen in case of an emergency. I can press this. Can you still hear me? Or do I have to cut? You can still hear me with my emergency button? I don't know if you can still hear me or not. And I'm going
can hear you.
Back to cam. Pow. So I got emergency button, but the emergency screen ain't gangsta. Like, this ain't gangsta. Podcast. No, that's not gangsta. It has to be something gangsta. Like, ninjas have attempted to break into Tate compound. He is currently in the middle of a battle against a shogunate.
That's gangsta? That sounds like something a 12-year-old thinks is badass. Steve with the Q says, whenever you want to settle on an accent, Tate, in your own time.
Normal service will resume after they've been defeated. You know what I'm saying? James? No, I'm not allowed to use his real name. Shit. Mike? Mike, make a thing that says Ninja Shogunate, blah, blah, blah.
Is he English or does he have a weird accent? I believe he was raised and had a British accent, and then he tried to Americanize his accent, and sometimes he slips back into sounding kind of British.
So and then we'll upload that somehow to this fucking Atem Pro, whatever the fuck that is. We need Atem Pro, we need ninjas. Make that here. I've got a button to make it go black. That's it. What else can I do here? I can do, there's a whole bunch of buttons. I don't really, I'm scared to press most of them. I'm scared to press most of the buttons. I'm too rich for this. I'm a millionaire. What am I doing? Buttons. I should be in my supercar. I got girls next door right now saying, I came over to see you. Shut up. Do my TV.
It is kind of weird to hire escorts and then just leave them in the other room, which I assume is what Tate does.
Right, what else have I got? I've got another mic I am known to talk to. That's it. I can do my adverts. I want to learn how to share my screen with you. So if I ever want to Google something up, I can like put it on the screen and talk over it. So that's
It's not difficult.
what we're going to attempt to do right now. We're going to try and do that. So we're going to go press this. No, wrong button already. Press this. Press this. Press this. No, that doesn't work. So what about this?
Tate, why didn't you set... Literally, I use free streaming software that all you have to do is you set it up beforehand, and then let's say I'm over here. Like, this would be my version of his screen for that. Hi, it's me. I'm doing a podcast. Of course, I have this stuff all set up and everything, but, you know, same idea. I'm here. I'm the main focus of the screen. Blah, 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 blah. And then you press one button. And now I'm sharing my screen. Jesus Christ, Tate. Elminato says, his emergency screen should be Spider-Man coming back for round 2. And Bittergrin says, if he's so rich, why didn't he just hire someone to run this shit for him, right? Doesn't make any sense.
This. Okay. I go back here. And I close that. Then I do this. Then I do this. Then I do this. Boom! Now I can click here. Tate's a G.
Wait, why is Tate watching 100 awesome DIY ideas, glue gun, 3D pen, epoxy resin, polymer clay crafts? That doesn't seem very gangsta.
Look that up. Me being a G. I go back. And
He literally searched Tate's a G. What the fuck?
you guys should be able to hear me talk and see me talk about how I'm a G. Is that what's happening right now? Can you see the YouTube? Can you see me saying how I'm a G?
I'm just gonna be honest with you. This is funny and something you might not think about unless you upload to YouTube like I do. The fact that when he typed in Tate's a G, his videos actually came up probably means in his tags, he writes in every video, or at least some videos, Tate's a G. There's no other way the algorithm would know to pull up his videos. So when you upload a YouTube video, you put tags in. So like, hey, what do you want this video to show up when people search different things, you know? It helps the algorithm tailor your videos to people searching for that kind of content. So he must put the phrase, Tate's a G, in his tags, which is absurd. That's pathetic.
And can you hear me talking at the same time? That's what I care about. Because if so, then I'm in the game. And then I need to know if I play a video on a browser, if you can hear it. I don't know these things. I don't know. So now we're going to try that. So I'm going to play a video on the browser. We're going to see if you can hear it. So we're going to play Tristan's Gillette advert.
How hard you tried, you now find yourself struggling to use Gillette products?
All the bitches just have sex.
Why did he double himself?
And then you got land. Now you're in some Chicago, like the worst place. You walk out the airport, like everyone's ugly and fat. There's no Eastern European hotties. No one's wearing heels. No one has a manicure. It's just ugly, cold. To come on my podcast. And I sit there and they ask me the same old questions. So, Tate, how did you get all those girls? Because I'm a G.
He paid for them.
Took me like 6 minutes. Bad boy. Be fixed.
Okay. I'm already over Tate doing a goddamn sound test. We'll come back for his next episode when he has an actual podcast and he's not just fucking around like a weirdo and acting like a dork. I shouldn't say that. That gives a bad name to dorks. There's nothing wrong with dorks. He's just an asshole. Do we want to see what Alabama Jones is up to? What do you think? Let's give it a shot.
Hello, I'm made in America since 1776. Welcome to my channel. A few days ago, I wrote out a letter to read on this channel. A general letter to everybody. I hope it resonates with you. because this is something that's been on my mind, and I'm sure it's been on the minds of a lot of people lately. Maybe since the first governments. I'll go ahead and read the letter now.
Sounds confident. For those who missed the first time we covered Alabama Jones, he's not wearing his fedora in this video, unfortunately, but he is wearing the other stuff. Alabama Jones is an individual that wanted to run for president. He's a defender of the Confederacy. He likes Confederate flags. He's everything you assume based on those things I just said.
You may have seen politicians on the news talking about you or someone you may know. They talk about a great number of people and render their judgment upon them. These people include Confederates, gun owners.
There's no such thing as Confederates in this day and age. The Confederacy lasted for like 4 years. Seinfeld had a greater cultural impact than the Confederacy.
Voters, radicals, and more. Many of these politicians and their allies in the media use general statements to describe these people. They label Confederates as racists.
Yeah, if you're someone who calls yourself a Confederate and defends the former nation, air quotes, of the Confederacy, a nation, air quotes, that was entirely based upon the idea of seceding in order to keep the federal government from stopping them from being allowed to base their economy primarily upon slave labor, you're racist.
Gun owners as murderers. Voters of the opposite party as deplorable people.
I mean, have we considered not being shit? Morok says young Sheldon has had more of a cultural impact.
And radicals of their party as heroes after breaking the law and harming innocent people. People uninvolved in politics at all. Or people who simply have a differing viewpoint.
What differing viewpoint? Which one specifically?
This happens on both sides, true, but it happens on one more than the other. That's not the angle for tonight. The angle is, does the politician know? But what does the politician know? What does a man in Washington know about a man in Georgia he's never met? He never sees his messages on the Twitter.
I guess they don't have Twitter in Georgia or DC. You know that politicians from Georgia go to Washington, D.C. to vote, right? That's how it works, whether you're a state senator, or not a state senator, a United States senator from Georgia, or a member of the House from Georgia. You're from Georgia, and then you go to Washington, D.C. to vote. And basically everyone uses Twitter. Not everyone. A lot of people are fortunate, but you know what I mean.
Sees his letters. He has secretaries to read them for him. And many go unread. Every single one of us is simply a letter that he never sees, never knows about.
He thought he was going somewhere with this. Bitewise Marissa says has script, didn't rehearse. That tracks.
He does not know our names. He does not know what we want from him, what we expect of him. He does not know why we voted for him. All he knows is that he's in power. And he never hears our voices. He may see the Confederate on the news.
You are not a Confederate. You are LARPing.
But what does he really know of him? He's going to call him racist because of his Southern heritage and roots. But what does he know of his true feelings on the...
Your grandparents' parents were probably born after the Confederacy was not a thing anymore. It is not your heritage.
Matter of civil rights. Maybe this Confederate...
Oh, someone self-identifying as a Confederate wants to talk about civil rights. Lovely.
was a long
Yeah, that's a Transformer symbol. He has a Confederate flag with the Autobot symbol on it. He showed it in one of his other videos.
side the people who fought for civil rights. Like many Americans, he called out the terrorism that happened at the time. But like many others, he may have stood alongside the people who wanted civil rights and said that this is right because it's fair. Fairness and freedom go together. It's fair that we all get the same rights. It's freedom that we have these rights. But does the politician know that we think that way?
Blackwing Hackety says, I mean, he's a Confederate, as in he's participating in a con as a plant, but he's not like a member of the CSA.
Does he care? I don't think he does. He talks
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's an Eagle Scout uniform. I'm pretty sure in one of his other videos you can see all the badges he has.
about gun owners and guns. But has he ever held a gun or spoken to a gun owner other than his security guard?
Yeah, a lot of politicians own guns.
He wants to ban all weapons. Are his guards not armed?
I've never heard any mainstream politician from any political party actively say all weapons should be banned, let alone all firearms should be banned. Blackwing Hackety says, freedom is the right of all sentient beings, Optimus Prime, known slavery advocate. Meek says, bad parts of your heritage should be left in the past. Should we go back to marrying girls because of our heritage? Yeah, it's stupid.
Armed. He wants to block construction of a wall. Does his many houses not have walls around them to protect them?
We're doing this. I can't believe I'm having to talk about this in 2022. Once again, even leaving out your actual opinions of people coming to the United States across the border, most people who are undocumented immigrants in the United States did not get into the country by crossing the southern border on foot. They got here by getting legal visas and then overstaying those visas. A border wall is not only ineffective in what you actually want to do, it's not even addressing the actual problem if you consider undocumented immigration to be a problem. H. Baird says he's just mad he didn't get his citizenship in the nation merit badge. I don't get it.
Who are you? Did you
This isn't stolen valor. He's wearing a uniform of the Eagle Scouts, which he is a part of, or was.
vote for him? Does he know you voted for him? Does he care? He talks about you. Has he ever spoken to you?
Okay, what's your solution here? Are you anti-democracy or what? Get to the point.
What does he know of us? Our hopes, our dreams, our fears, our loves, our hates? Does he know the love held in our sparks? The hate we have for lies and deceit? Does the wisdom of Athena leave his lips, or the coldness of Hades? What does he know of a people he never talks to? Should he not know who he represents? He will never hear my words here, or see my name on the voting day. He does not know the love I have for my country, or share my devotion to her. He does not know a thing about me, so why should he talk about me like he watched me grow up?
Nick says, I'm 14 and this is deep. Blackwing Equity says, has he, read Greek myth? Hades is actually a pretty chill dude, especially in comparison to his brothers. I would guess not.
Why should any of us judge each other before we learn about who we are talking to? Why should we hate he who we cannot put a face to? Are we not innocent until proven guilty? Is there nothing that brings us together? Our flag, our anthem, Sunday night football, perhaps a beer at the bar, anything that brings us together. Here I am speaking to you, but who am I? Am I pixels on a screen? Or a living, breathing person like you?
Holy shit, what's your point?
You have a spark beating in your chest right now.
The Allspark?
What of me? I will tell you who I am, what I am. I am a Yankee.
Boring. I miss when he went on a rant about running for president. Remember
Right
this?
here. He would stand alone against an army to fight for what he knows is right, to defend his home and his family and his countrymen, to defend the innocent and the weak. I would do that. I would fight an impossible, definite, losing battle if I was fighting for what was right. Oh, you might as well get used to this look, too. When I'm president, if I'm president, I'm going to be carrying around a pistol and a saber everywhere I go. And I think I know what kind of car I'm going to be driving around in. 55 Cadillac Eldorado.
There's already a presidential vehicle that they spent millions and millions of dollars to secure. You have to drive in the presidential vehicle. You can't just pick your car.
And I'll be the driver.
They literally don't let the president drive when they're the president. You're not allowed to drive.
I don't want to be chauffeured around. I'm not going to dress up in monkey suits, ties, and all that stuff. I'm not going to ride around in a modern limo. Fuck that. I'm not going to be chauffeured. I love to drive. I'm going to be heading out on the highway when I'm not busy. When I got nothing else to do, I'm going to be heading out on the highway just to drive.
What does he think the president does? Bitewise Marissa says, I'll think about everything except doing the job. Logarth says, like, they don't even let you drive after being president. Yeah.
That's the kind of president I'll be. But when there is something to be done, I'm going to be there to do it. Within the bounds of the Constitution, within the bounds of the law. But the government is too big. Way too big. It has been bloated and bloated and bloated. And it has gotten bigger under Clinton. It has gotten way bigger under Obama. President Trump has rolled it back some. But
what about George W. Bush? The Patriot Act? No? Okay.
Not enough.
It's gonna ignore that one, I guess. Logarth says, I'll be there to do it, unless I'm out on the highway driving around.
Take out the social programs. We need to keep in only the bare essentials of the Constitution that keep this country free. That keep the people free and protected. That keep this country safe. Nothing extra. And I know some leftists is probably going to criticize or downright accuse me of wanting to put in the 3/5 compromise. No. That's going to be a major straw man on your part. You are the party of straw man, aren't you?
What the fuck? I didn't bring up the 3/5 compromise. What?
You like to take what people say and twist it and turn it and do all kinds of mental gymnastics to the point where it's utterly unrecognizable, don't you? I'm going to make it clear for you. I do not advocate for putting in slavery or 3/5 compromise back into the fold. No. When I say take care of the people, I mean take care of the people. I have been accused many times of being a racist. That's only because that they don't like my arguments.
Bitewise Marissa says, you know, this just hit me watching this. There's a parallel between this and evangelical child pastors. It's like the cargo cult of politics. Do that with that what you will, I guess. Logarth says, okay, is this a kink thing now? I just get kink vibes, like he's got some real horny tones coming out of those don't use. Stone Corbell says his theatrics are hilarious. I agree. He should do more videos like this.
And that's because they hate when I fly a Southern flag. They have accused me of being homophobic because I don't like pushing these little hormones on kids.
What are you talking about?
And because I don't want to use your preferred pronouns when you are so-called transgender.
You're transphobic!
If anything, you're a trans-trender. Whatever you are. If you are a man or a woman, if you're biologically a man or a woman, I'm going to call you what you biologically are. Because
he's so bad at this. Like, he's clearly heard other right-wing transphobes and stuff say this stuff, but, like, you can tell he hasn't really thought about it. He just thinks this is what you're supposed to say. It's very interesting. And man, Broodwitch with 15 months says this guy knows about trans people, clearly. Blackwing Hackety says, wait, that's not what transgender means. Oh, we're almost on another hype train.
Otherwise, knowing that it's wrong is a lie. I've been called homophobic for that. Let me tell you something, though. Here's logic. If I was
He's about to hit us with the facts and logic. Logarth says, this is what it feels like to be menaced by a flutternuffer sandwich.
Homophobic, I'd be afraid of homos.
I'm pretty sure those are his, he used the term homos. I'm pretty sure those are his drawings. Zarek Shadow says, this guy reminds me of this with all his Confederate defenses.
Hey, didn't I kill you in the last episode? No.
I love Anton Shay films. Bitewise Marissa says, let's go! With 100 bits, but it didn't kick off the hype train. That's weird. I wonder why. That's supposed to kick off the hype train. Someone else gift 100 bits and see if it does it. Is the hype train broken?
So I do not believe so. I'm pretty sure I did. I'm pretty sure I shot you through the body until you were dead.
Previously on Checkmate Lincolnites.
He's great. Check him out, please. There we go. Doc Gamble gave 100 bits. The Flower Girl 13 gave 100 bits, and so did MW1642. And that kicked off a hype train. Last hype train of the month. Logarth says, did someone say hype train?
Why would I say that something ain't right if I was afraid of it? Why would I openly say that it ain't right?
That boy ain't right. Mr. Fred Rogers says, Hannah, I'm surprised that you haven't commented the lack of frames on his wall art. Those aren't even posters. Those are child drawings. But yes, you should frame them. 97% to level 1. Bitewise Marissa with 500 bits says, so hype. Thank you very much.
Or that something's just really messed up here. If I was afraid of it. If I was afraid of it, I'd keep my mouth shut. If I was a
Bittergrin with 150 bits.
A normal man. I have no fear of you. Any of you. When you do something wrong, I'm going to call it out. That don't mean I'm afraid of you.
I haven't done anything wrong, Alabama Jones.
I've only been accused of that because the left has no argument.
Elmanado with 100 bits, Blackwing Hecate with 45 says, ironically, right as we're watching this dipshit, I get a Quora notification with an answer to, was Robert E. Lee the best general? Daddy Sume says, is it just me, or does he seem infantilized? A little. 44% to level 2.
They throw accusations as if it's a defense. They try to take the fire off of them and shift it onto you.
Stop doing shit then. Stop being weird, kid. KBS666 says, from one southerner to another, bless his heart. That's my favorite thing about southern insults, is they sound so nice, but they're devastating.
They try to do that because they know they cannot win an intellectual argument. That to the common American, the left's ideals are very unpalatable. They know that.
Such as? Astrofox says, apparently the U.S. Freedom Convoy ended after one day when only 5 rigs ended up reaching the second stop. Nice. 52% to level 2 with 3 minutes left.
Many of them do not want to go and say that's true extent for what they want to do. Because they know that to many Americans, that is not going to fly.
Bitewise, thanks for gifting a sub.
Instead, what they do is lie. And when you call them out on their bullshit, they're gonna call you all kinds of names and throw around accusations to get the people to stop focusing on things that you say. How did we get to this point in politics? I mean, I know politics has always been dirty, but used to be a politician had a pretty good chance of being a patriot. Abraham Lincoln.
I don't know how to break this to you, but if you consider yourself a Confederate, boy would Abraham Lincoln not like you. Blackwing Hecate with 628 bits says, last of my bits, gotta head out for class. See y'all tomorrow. See you tomorrow for Tinfoil Tuesday. Hope class goes quick for ya.
George Washington. Benjamin Franklin. Patriots, but politicians.
Those are like the three people he knows from American history. Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, and Benjamin Franklin.
Ronald Reagan.
Oh no, not Reagan!
Recent patriot. Recent politician.
Recent? What? How long ago do you think Reagan was president? Marcus Drake says, oh, you're a dirty politician, aren't you? You're a dirty, dirty politician, aren't you? I regret nothing. 15% to level 3.
Politician. Also used to be a Democrat for some years of his life. Still, he looked at what the party was going towards. With the fall of the Soviet Union, the Democrat Party became more communist.
Define communism!
They basically went in and took the Democratic Party. It was already going socialist, but it took off when the Soviet Union collapsed. And they want to turn America into a socialist or communist or Sharia law having whatever.
These are things that are... None of these things are the same thing, and they all are in conflict with one another. So you gotta pick one.
As long as it's not American, the left wants it.
Overthought says, did someone say communism with 100 bits? 20% to level 3. God damn it. Someone says, fun fact, Benjamin Franklin was thought to have neurosyphilis. He did... He probably picked it up in France, if I'm being honest. I don't say that as anything against French people. I say that because, reportedly, he was a big whore in France. He went to France and he was a huge whore. Hydrate. 22% to level 3.
And you remember AOC? Ocasio-Cortez saying cauliflower, eating cauliflower is being too colonial. Do you remember that?
What the fuck is he talking about? Xeric Shadow says, yeah, the funny thing about that, Reagan switched parties when Barry Goldwater ran for president. The guy who was openly against the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
That's the kind of stupidity that is...
We're not allowed to talk about the Southern strategy, though, because it's devastating to their case.
Actually in Congress right now. And she said... She made a video expressing surprise that food grows from the ground. Of course, vegetables grow from the ground. Fruits grow on trees. Common knowledge, you learn this in kindergarten. Before kindergarten, even.
25% to level 3 with a little over a minute left. Lily Love Stuff says, slut-shaming Benjamin Franklin, SMH.
It's stupidity like that that supports communism. And it's stupidity like that that supports Sharia law in this country. It is stupidity like that that is currently in Congress. And that put the color of their skin above the quality of the character of the individual.
Oh, shut up. Moira Soma says, found out that Pastor Greg Locke is a failed rapper. Have you seen this? It's the funniest thing I've seen in a long time, and in the lyrics he sings about Jesus coming in him. Well, we gotta watch this, don't we? We have to save the hype train. We're only at 34% to level 3. Someone give bits. Do something. It's the last hype train of the month. We must save it. Nick Snort with 100 bits. Wagroads with another 100 says, no, France caught it from Franklin. Mr. Fred Rogers with... Oh, we got some. Hold on. With 100 bits, DM Trey with 45 bits says, I'm doing my part. We got close. Thanks, everyone, for the hype train. Procagom, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. Oh, just short. Dang it. Thank you, though. I appreciate it.
Had $1 million, let me tell you where it go. I would give it all to Jesus so that he may use it so. But since I am a pauper and I have no gold to spend, I'm gonna give my life to Jesus Christ until my journey's end. I was once in bondage, my life was full of sin, until that wonderful night when my Savior came in. He came within me and gave me
He came within you.
a new start. He took me from the miry clay and gave me a new heart. I'm the leader of the pack, but my sheep call me pastor. Walking in the steps of my Lord and my master. Life's too short, be playing with games. I'm gonna get busy finding me some names of the people that need some real teaching. Open up my Bible, do some full tilt preaching. Jesus gave a clear command directed right at you, but in your busy schedule you have failed to follow through. The world is on its way to hell, but do we even care? Instead of speaking gospel, we just always stop and stare. It's time to get a burden for people and their fears, but you only cry at movies and for souls you shed no tears. So let's get busy, let's make the right decision and walk about this place with a big global vision.
Well, that was bad. The story he's talking about. Oh, God, what is it? It's from the Gateway Pundit. So she said, honestly, gardening, food that comes out of the dirt, like it's magic. Presumably she's talking about the importance of things like community gardening. Oh, yeah, literally, the video, community garden update. She's not shocked that that's the thing. She's just saying, why aren't more people doing this? And Gateway Pundit intentionally is obtuse about it to make a shit article. Shocking.
You remember when...
Wasn't Gateway Pundit found to have been being fed things by Russian disinformation farms? Just want to point that out.
And liberals used to say...
I think it's kind of timely to point that out.
Judge me not by my color, but by my character. Now it's treat me above everybody else because of my color, regardless of my character.
It's literally not.
And if you attack my character, no matter how bad it is, then you're going to be a racist now. That's what it's turned into. That's what the left is now. We got to judge by character alone. If you want to judge by color, then go judge a painting, not a person.
One sec, I have to respond on the Megazord thing. I'll keep playing this, though.
It's been a while since I made a video, I know. Honestly, I procrastinate on it. When I start, it's hard to stop. But there's so much to talk about. There are so many problems we got with the government, so many problems we got with the people at home. We are losing the Holy Spirit. We are losing the influence of God in this country. We are losing our way. America has lost her path. And we have to put that path back on track. You want to outlaw prayer in school?
No one has outlawed prayer in school. You just aren't allowed to force children to pray in school as the administrators or teachers. But kids can pray in school. Robert Morley, thanks for 9 months. That's a sub baby. Oh boy. This sub baby's name is going to be Wowzers McPherson. Wowzers McPherson.
That's unconstitutional. People have the right to pray wherever they are. It's not only that.
They do. You just can't force kids to pray in school. He doesn't even fundamentally understand what the rules are.
It is taking out our one ally, our one true ally in this world. Almighty God, who has had America's hand since the beginning, who has held her hand through the war with the British, who has held her hand through the Great Depression, who has held her hand through the Nazi onslaught, and who continues to hold her hand to this day, but is losing grip. America is losing the grip of the hand of God because she is turning away from God.
What? He did skip the Civil War. Wonder why. Stone Corbell says, a big war that happened on U.S. soil he forgot to mention there.
If we cease being one nation under God, we will be a nation gone under. Ronald Reagan said that. And he was absolutely right. And he has been proven right. Look at society now. Look at the way our country is being run. Look at the way the world is. That is proof. When a country turns from God, a country loses his blessings. We are losing his blessings. This little place of war that we call planet Earth is rejecting God. And the Earth is being punished for the sin of human nature.
Literally never in history has Christianity been the majority religion, like, in terms of the entire population. It's the biggest religion in the world, but if you combine every non-Christian, there's more non-Christians than there are Christians, right? So the majority of people on planet Earth have never been Christian. Why would it be different now? Daddy Sume says, ah, yes, Reagan, the Trump beta test. Ugh.
For the sin that's in the world. And the world is further turning away from God, and the world is further being punished. We're going more and more towards globalization.
Which is fine.
We are forgetting about the national flag here at home. We are forgetting about the national government here at home. We care more about the rest of the world than we do about our own.
That's objectively untrue.
But I ask you...
But we do live on a planet with a lot of other people, so it makes sense to be concerned about things like, if we're talking about timely stuff today, Ukraine. The world isn't being globalized. We live on a globe in the information age. Everything we do on a large scale affects everyone else, and vice versa. If you pretend that's not the case, you're just ignorant.
This. How can we protect the world, and how can we provide for the world if we cannot protect and provide for the people right here that are the cause of this, the form?
Very weird that he sees America's role in the globe to be a protector and provider as if we are president of the world? We're not.
Foreign aid. And here's the funny thing. We could stop illegal immigration by annexing Mexico into the federal union.
This ramped up. This ramped up real quick.
Or at least making it into a territory.
I think Mexico would have a problem with that.
We would.
Logarth says, we already tried that.
Be further able to take care of the drug cartels. The people there would be much better off. We would bring them modernization.
Does he think Mexico is living in, like, what? Like, has he not seen Mexico City? Does he think Mexico is a completely undeveloped country? Is the only information he gets about Mexico from Breaking Bad? Like, what is he doing? He's going full Putin? Yeah.
Food and running water.
Ah, yes. Mexico famously has no food or running water. What the fuck? What is this guy's problem? He's so stupid.
We would help them in ways that are uncalculable as of yet because we have not tried.
We won't know how we can help them until we annex the country. Genius. Reminder, this is a video where he's saying he wants to run for president. This is his speech to run for president. Narnia Owl says, if everywhere is America, immigration is definitely over. And Robert Morley says, make them a state with 2 more Democrat senators. Bittergrin says, I'm just guessing at his problem, but I'm thinking homeschooled. Yeah.
To take over Mexico would be the best thing for Mexico. If you know her history, Mexico goes from government to government to government. Whoever has enough power rises up and takes control of the government. And now it's his government until the next one rises up. Because of the weakness of the federal or whatever kind of government they got in Mexico, central government.
He's not even familiar what kind of government Mexico has.
Because of their weakness, they cannot keep the drug cartels in check. Now the drug cartels have grown above Mexico's police and military powers, but not ours. If we get involved, if we go down there to Mexico, we can do some good. We could solve their drug cartel problems. But Mexico don't want us to solve that because those drug cartels are also paying off the Mexican politicians. Money that is being made from those drugs goes back to some people in very high positions in Mexico.
Lily Love Stuff says, if this guy is old enough to run for president, then I take back everything I said about how white people age. I don't think he is. He probably doesn't know there's a minimum age for president. Marcus Drake says, so we're just doing unironic white man's burden again? Yeah, seems like it.
And those drugs come over here to our country, to our border states, to our inner cities. They create dope addicts. And they create a people who cannot defend themselves. And they create a people who can only think about getting their next fix.
Cena pulled out his gun. Oh, what a badass. What a badass. He pulled out a gun.
Yeah. See this? This is what awaits you. If you...
This is what awaits you! Oh, is that a 22? How nice. You want to go ping some cans out behind the barn?
You invade our country. This little...
Did he try and do a flip?
If you invade our country...
That's not gun safety. That's not trigger discipline. What are you doing?
This little thing here is the great equalizer. It's called the great equalizer because say...
What was the noise that came out of my mouth there? Overthought with a link.
Whoa, calm down, Jamal. Don't pull out the 9.
A woman or a child is being attacked by somebody with a knife. This somebody happens to be a fully grown adult male who has a good 100 pounds on his target. This target cannot defeat him in hand-to-hand combat. This can. This can defeat him. And this has saved many millions of lives, and it continues to save lives all the time, every day in this country. And the left wants to ban this outright. They think you don't have the right to own this.
Once again, I've never heard any actual mainstream politician ever claim to want to ban all firearms, ever.
The left wants to bring the government in to take this out of your hands, and if you resist, then they will throw you in jail. Maybe execute you. And that is exactly why we have these, to keep the government from becoming tyrannical. What is the point of having guns if we still allow the government to come over and take them? What?
This is the sound you made? Oh god, what is it? Yeah.
What is the point? What is the point? We have guns to keep ourselves from becoming tyrannized. And we have guns to defend ourselves from a threat. We also have guns for hunting and for sport and for other things. A gun is a tool more than anything. And the gun does not get up and murder somebody at random. It is the murderer at fault. You take away the guns, and he'll find a crowbar or a pitchfork. And then what's next? We outlaw knives and crowbars. We outlaw baseball bats next.
This is a ridiculous slippery slope argument. Stone Corbell says, ah yes, your little pea shooter is going to do wonders against missiles fired remotely from drones. Also, didn't he say the left is the party of strawman arguments? Astro Fox says, your 22 revolver is going to do so much against a predator drone, dude, totally.
Until there's absolutely nothing but sticks and stones, and what are you going to do, outlaw those too? Those grow everywhere.
All these goddamn stones growing in my yard.
And even if you do manage to get rid of all those, we still got hands. What's next? You gonna outlaw hands? Punish the murderer, not the tool he used. Because that same tool that he used is also used by a lot of good people to defend the weak. And
literally, I actually like the hat he's wearing because it's like looks like the hat my D&D character wears. So I would like that hat, but only for D&D reasons.
innocent. In fact, gun-free zones are one of the most dangerous places you can go to in this country. If you go to a
Flower Girl, I'm gonna deny the hats off because the stream is gonna end soon and I don't want you to waste your bits when I'm not gonna be, you know, on for much longer. So save it for tomorrow or the next day or whatever.
Place that you want to shoot somebody up, you're gonna go for somebody that you know does not have a gun. You're gonna go for a place that you know bans guns. But if you're in a place, say anywhere in Texas, and there's always somebody carrying, you're gonna think.
Which is why there's never mass shootings in Texas. Ever, ever.
Twice about shooting somebody up. Because you yourself are gonna get shot for it. And you, 9 times out of 10, won't do it at all. Just having guns around and being there in case you need it saves lives. Having a gun against a foreign invader saves lives.
Hernani Owl says, if you want to take my hands, I'll have you take them from my cold, dead hands. Astro Fox says, as a pan-trans person, I feel much safer in New York City or LA than anywhere in Texas. No.
Americans.
List of shootings in Texas. Ooh! Yep. That's a decent number of shootings. Crazy.
Conservatives want to save lives.
No. DM Trey says, ah, yes, as someone who was on the Las Vegas Strip October 1st, 2017, I can't think of any situation that would have been better by a person not having access to firearms. Oof.
The liberal left, they want to take those lives. And any lives that are not taken, they want to control every aspect of. What kind of clothes you got on your back. What kind of house you can live in. It's wrong, it's illegal, and it's unconstitutional what they want to do. But they do it. Anyways, this video is almost an hour long. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go, and I'm going to save my next rant for my next video. I'm going to try to keep them under like a half hour. Don't know if I'll succeed. But I'll try. I'll try. And any of you think you're going to come here and you're going to take my rights.
Ooh, look at the mall sword.
If you think you're going to come over here, you're going to take my neighbor's rights. If you think you're going to come over here and you're going to tell me what I can say, what I can think.
You can hear the metal clanging against the loose guard.
To what I can do, what kind of things I can own or not own. Why don't you speak to my little brick cutter?
I think if you hit that on a brick, it would shatter into a million pieces because it's probably made of stainless steel.
I will draw my sword in defense of this land.
I think Indiana Jones taught us how well that tends to work.
I love my country.
Which, by the way, speaking of my D&D character, One of my subclass features, which I don't mean to spoil for those who watch the D&D game, but my character is vaguely based on Indiana Jones. And the subclass feature, one of them is called Knife to a Gunfight, and I think once per... I'd have to look at the specifics, but it's a special feature where if someone comes within 5 feet of me with a melee weapon, I can take an action and pull out the gun as a reaction and shoot them a bunch of times, and it's awesome. Man, Bittergrain with 100 bits says, why is he bragging about the sword? Didn't he just go over how much better a gun is? Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. He's posturing.
I will defend my country. It's on her behalf alone I will ever draw my sword. I will not draw it to tyrannize you. And I will not draw it to intimidate you. I will draw it to defend myself, the people around me, and the country I live in. If I have to draw this sword to keep people safe, then I will do it. This saves lives. The left is too blind, too arrogant, too selfish to see it. At least some of them. The ones they call useful idiots. The ones who are driving it.
The irony.
Know exactly what they're doing. And they're doing it for reasons of more political power. You lie to the people and you hope they keep voting for you. You promise change, but it never comes. They keep
voting. So not exactly a Charlie Chaplin great dictator speech, is it?
Voting for you because they want change. Number 2, they want more money. That's exactly what they're trying to do, and that's exactly what their little programs are designed to do, is to give them more money. Number 3, they hate this country and they want to see her go under. Number 4, they hate you because you're an American. In fact, they hate humans in general, and they want to kill them off. Do not ever trust anybody from the government. I don't care what political party he is, though.
Which is why he wants to run for the highest executive political position in the country. Genius. Hernania Owl says, you'll at least need a tank so you can yell, drive me closer, I want to hit him with my sword, Warhammer 40k style.
Do not trust them from the government. The 9 scariest words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Well, that's 8, but still. Those are the scariest words in the English language.
Quoting Reagan makes you sound dumb, I'm gonna be honest. Reagan helped dismantle a lot of things that made the country function really well, and it's been downhill since then, so thanks, Reagan.
For a reason. When the government tries to help, even if it's an honest effort to try to help, they fuck it up. And they do more harm than good. Most of the time, they intend to do more harm. I think I got my point across. Remember, vote for policy, not personality. Judge by character, not by color. And as an American, it is your duty to defend the Constitution, to preserve and protect the Constitution, and to obey the law. And to protect and defend the rights of the man next to you, as he is required, well, not necessarily required by law, but required by bounds of morality to defend and protect your rights. We take care of our own, because nobody else will. If we don't take care of each other, nobody will take care of us. The entire world, everyone in the world, they will invade us and take our resources if we are busy fighting each other. If they see an opportunity, they will strike. That's how it's done. That's how conquest is done. That's how Hitler did it. That's how the British do it. That's how the French do it. That's how the Spanish did it. Same old story, generation after generation. That's why you need a standing army. If you want a standing army. If you want a choice in where your money goes and how it goes. If you want border protection. If you want people like Kate Steinle to be saved, not buried. And if you want your babies to be born, to have their rights defined and protected under the law once again, then vote for me for president. It is not yet certain whether or not I will run, but I am considering it. But don't just vote for me because I tell you to. There may be better candidates when I run, even if I don't know it at the time. You vote for who you think is the better candidate, but do not vote against the Constitution. That is all. Good day, everyone. God bless.
What the fuck? I miss Alabama Jones. He hasn't uploaded in 2 months. We miss you, Alabama. Please come back. Anti-Pretzel says, no country would invade us. We have more guns per citizen than most countries have cars. Also, our terrain is our biggest advantage. It's wild when biomes we have and how that F's people over. Stone Corbell with 50 bits and a link. Oh, we watched that earlier. Yeah, the Pat Robertson thing. Really weird. Why does he wear Transformers stuff? I think he's just a big Transformers fan. He reminds me a little bit of Chris Chan, of Christine. Kind of weird. Okay, we can probably call that a stream. We've been going for about 3 hours. Evil Dead guy with a link. What's this?
Right. Kinda cringe.
Who are we gonna raid? We will do Lumi. Lumi raided
And
the other
thank
day.
you everyone who brought links. The map one was very...
And they're in the middle of a hype train. Nice. Bitewise says, auto-fascists roll out. Raid, boom, boom. Did that work? No, it only ever works when I do it over here. Oh no, it did work. Alright, have a good night everyone. I'll be back tomorrow for Tinfoil Tuesday. So we'll watch all sorts of fun, stupid conspiracies then. I hope to see you there. See you guys later. Bye.